Okay, let's have a look. That's interesting. Can't see myself. I always get something wrong, don't I? That's why I came on early. Where is my dashboard? There's my dashboard. Ah, yeah, it is working over there, but I can't see myself on here. And I'm getting some echo, so I need to turn that down. Haha, this is fun, isn't it? Ah, hello everybody. I can see the chat at least, that's the main thing. Now, can people hear me? Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I have to do it that way. Oh, I can see the chat, but I can't chat from there. I'm using Streamlabs this time. I was using OBS last time. Yeah, Streamlabs. And I'm in Blender in the background here. So that might be what you were asking, Jay Ramirez. And you can hear me. Why is it that OBS didn't work last time? Hey, Avocado Fire Gaming. Nice to see you. Right, I've got to go back. I have to go back to my editor. I think it is editor layout. That's, nope, it's not that. Studio mode. Oh, you see, I've messed up because I cannot see dashboard. Is it dashboard settings? Where do I go to? Nope. I'm trying to. Oh, I see. So overlays. Ah, okay, that has worked. Right, I can see that now, and I can turn my desktop audio off. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Okay, this is why I came on 5 minutes early, because I wanted to try out Streamlabs. It's been ages since I've done this with Streamlabs, and I've forgotten that I did it with Streamlabs. And what I'm trying to do at the moment is do things that are slightly scary. And going live is always slightly scary. And I did it for a while, and then I just thought, oh, it's too much. It's all too much. But sometimes you need to reinvigorate your life and have adventures. And I'm all about having adventures at the moment. That's my thing. So yes, Ask Me Anything is the theme of the day. So ask me anything, and I'll be making some things. I'm in Blender at the moment, and I'm thinking of making some clothing for my character. So this is the TV head that's used for Game Dev TV, and I've been instructed to make the character, but I'm at the moment, oh, there's another version of Blender, that's not what I was expecting. At the moment, there's my task for the day. I've got a few different versions of him. There's the normal version. There's the cardboard, sword and shield, which I think is cute there, isn't he? And that's a just sticking out the tongue one. And that was one for Valentine's Day. So I'm trying to think of different ones for the character. Right. So let's go to some questions first, and let's say hello to people. I find that really fun, but it's very frustrating. YouTube has a very long delay now. It's about sort of 20 seconds, maybe even 30 seconds. So it might take me a while to get to hear from you. But let's just have a quick look. I'm wondering, no, I can't see. 48 viewers, there we go. That's, I wonder how many people I'm speaking to. Tell me where you're from to start with. I always like that. And then I'll answer a few questions, and then maybe do a bit of chilling out, doing some work. If you have any ideas for my little character here, my TV head character, it's obviously got to be game related, and that hence the sort of cardboard shield, sword and shield, sort of kid and game, that sort of thing. I'm thinking of a wizard's hat to put on top of him, and a wand. Any other ideas, let me know. This was a Valentine's Day one. Kind of dull, the Valentine's Day one, I don't know. So we got, Leicester, yeah, close to me. Then we got Ireland, sunny Scotland. Certainly can't be sunny at the moment. Well, in fact, no, because it's dark. I was thinking, is it? No, just checking. I'm the other end of the UK. I'm in Suffolk. Kenya. What's the time in Kenya at the moment? Is it sort of on the same line? No, it's off that way slightly, isn't it? Let me know where you're from, people. And I want to know the time of day as well. Pittsburgh, Gloucestershire, Morocco. That's got to be a similar time zone to the UK, hasn't it? There are lots of people in the UK. So it's a Sunday evening, watching me perhaps do some work, answer some questions. I'm not sure quite how long I'm going to be on for, but we'll see how many questions we get and see how much fun we have. That's the best way to do it now. Okay, so I think I have got some questions as well, whilst I'm seeing where people are from. Sri Lanka, it's 12:30 a.m. You need to go to bed. Washington State, 11 a.m. That's more like it. Okay, so what question? I think we have got some questions. There was one which was, it was a really hard question actually. It was, can you align bone roll to the surface normal of a face in quick and easy steps? And I don't know that you can. So bone roll is, well, in fact, I won't show it because that will take me a while to get there, and it might be such an obscure question, but bone roll is a bit of a pain. It's particularly when it comes to things like fingers. You want all the fingers rotating in the same way. Just seeing if I can see that on the screen. So the axis being exactly the same, otherwise when you do that it might sort of twist off to the side, which I obviously can't do with my fingers, and fingers wouldn't do that. So you need the bone roll correct so they're all facing the wrong way when your finger does this. And aligning the finger to, I'm assuming the surface normals up here, for example, would be a really useful tool, but I don't know that that's available. That was a good question though. Is Blender the right tool for texturing? I can't have Adobe, but the shadows make things harder for me because there isn't any layer stuff. You can actually get Ocu Paint, I think it's called. It's OCU Paint. Ocu Paint is how you'd sort of read it, but I think it's Ocu Paint or something like that. And that has a layering system within it. You can do layers within Blender, it's just awkward to set up. In fact, for this model, I've got layers. This will be an interesting one for everybody. Oh, where's it gone? I'll move this out the way because you don't really need to see my tasks for the day and reminders. There might be some weird personal things on there. I don't think there is though. Oh, let's get my haircut is one of them. That was the other day though. It's fine now. Where was I? Blender. Okay, so what was I doing? Oh, the painting, yeah. So if I, for example, choose this top here, so that's the top is selected. Yep, it is selected. It's difficult to see with all those overlays, but the top is selected. If I go here, you can see the top there is selected. Now this is my node setup. So these are layers. That's what the first texture, and then this is how you stack your layers up. It's quite weird. You have a layer with an alpha channel. That's important. The alpha goes into the factor, and this goes into the bottom input of a mixed shader node. Mixed shader? No, or mixed color. One of the two. Mixed color, I think it is, because these are textures. And that way, when you draw on this, well, when it first comes in, it's got an alpha channel, it's completely blank. And then when you start drawing on this, it will overlay the other one by using the alpha channel. So, and then you can stack them up like this. So this has 3 layers. I don't know whether we can see it on here particularly well, but oh, there's a little bit of a funny glitch there actually. Yeah. Let's try that again. Why is... Oh, I'm in camera mode. Oh no, I've been moving the camera around. That is not good. I'm going to have to sort that out later. So yeah, funny glitch there. So if I take you through the layers of this, so if I hide this, you can press M to mute. So M to mute. Oh, it's just the zips. Oh, and look, the zips are... That's weird, isn't it? That's not what I was expecting. But the zips are inserted in there. I know what's happening, but forget about that. And then there's the... Do you know, I'm not even sure what these things are. There's the colour. There's the details. Okay, so what? I think it's not muting correctly, actually. It's a really bad example. Maybe if I do this. There. That's this layer. That's the layer on top. So the black is the alpha channel. So that's the zip part. And this bit, I don't even know what that is. What is that? Oh, it's some dirt. It's very difficult to see, but there is some dirt on here. You might just be able to see it. Maybe I didn't actually put any dirt in the end. But those are the different channels. So that's how you layer. So that was an interesting question to get there. Yeah, right, let's see if there's any other questions. And then I might get on with some work, depending on how many questions we get. I quite like chatting, as you may have noticed. So I like to find out about people. But if you want to ask me any questions about Blender, or you can come up with some suggestions for my character. Let's just bring up Photoshop. So this is what the character's looking like at the moment. Well, that's their Valentine's shot. That's them looking funny like that. And I want kind of game things, toys, maybe costumes that the characters, well, obviously costumes that the character's going to wear. So there could be a Robin Hood one, actually. That would be a good fun one. I was thinking a big sort of dragon onesie as well. That might be quite fun as well. So if you've got any ideas, let me know. I'll put Blender back up for now. There we go. Yay. Okay, so let's see. Do you know any way at getting better in the shader editor? I really like the painterly style and generally the stylized stuff. Well, obviously practice, but there's probably a few courses that you could take. There's one on Game Dev TV actually, which is shader nodes, sort of, yeah, just nodes. What are they called? Shader nodes, is it called? Or material nodes? That's by Stephen Woods. Game Dev TV is where all my courses are, and you can. Usually, there's a link in the description to a course that's from Game Dev TV, and if you follow that through, you'll find the texture, the material nodes. To get a specific painterly style, I prefer actually painting on the object. Like all this is generally like the shoes here. They're sort of texture painted, which you can see there. And they've got a little bit of sort of dirt on them, a little bit of highlights with the black lines. So that's that sort of stylized look that I like. And I actually painted on myself because I find it easier to paint on than actually, you have more control than something that's procedural, so using material nodes. So that's practice, take courses in it. And there's a few tutorials out there about it's non-PBR, they call it. So look for the non-PBR workflow, and that will give you the stylized nodes and things like that. Equestria, where is Equestria? I don't even know where that is. Interesting. I specialise in low poly models. I would be greatly if feedback. I might do some feedback. If you want any feedback, then join the Discord, and if I get the Discord up. So on Discord, maximize that. If we go for I've got the live stream channel there. Hello, Avocado Fire. And then there is portfolios just here. So if you want to share your portfolio, if you chuck it in there, in fact, is that you? That might be you. Yes, it is. It looks pretty good, actually. Well, and we'll see about looking at people's portfolio in a moment. Okay, so any other questions in there? Yeah, so it's not the new logo, Avocado Fire. It's the new mascot, I guess. TV head. Rick has been obsessed with a TV head character for ages, so I actually went and made one so they can look funny. And this is kind of interesting. I use the compositor, and you can use the live compositor like this, and turn that on, and you can see the glow there. But look how much it slows down my viewport. But anyway, so that's compositing, and there you can. So I've got lots of compositing nodes on this, and it's got a glare and a slight some other stuff. Anyway, but yeah, there's the TV head character. So if you've got any ideas for him, that'd be awesome. It's 2 a.m. and I'm in the delivery room with my wife about to meet my daughter. Is that really true? And you're watching YouTube? If that is true, congratulations. I hope everything goes away. That goes away. Goes well. That just popped out weirdly. Excuse me. I hope everything goes well. That's better. 4 p.m. in Uruguay. I was thinking of visiting Uruguay, actually. It'd be a nice place to visit. Because this is my new... recently I've been wanting to... I don't know, sometimes you get in a little bit of too much of a routine and a little bit of a safe place in your little bubble, and you don't want to go out of your bubble. So that's why I'm doing a few things that challenge me, and a few adventures. I keep saying, yeah, have adventures in life, and I needed that recently. I've just sort of got into a bit of doing the same things, and you sort of don't want to get outside your comfort zone, I think is the phrase I'm looking for. So yeah. Anyway, so let's go through a bit more of the chat. I'm looking at. I'm probably behind in the chat at the moment. I'm interested in doing costume designs involving clothing with royal baroque embroidery for use as game assets. Is there a way to make repeating patterns fast? Yes, probably geometry nodes is going to be your best option there. In fact, I kind of guarantee it. If you can learn a few geometry nodes that specifically do that, you'll find it easier. You can do it within texture painting, but it's just more awkward, to be honest. You have to line everything up perfectly, and it is quite tough with texture painting. I think geometry nodes is your best option there. Right, have we got any other questions? Yeah, so is P2P, is P2 design? I thought it was P2P design. Could be wrong. There's Peric Picot. Picot? I can't remember now. His rigging course is at a professional game and animation level rigging a character. Yes, it is. It's very good. He has a strong French accent, which some people struggle with. He also jumps a little bit, he jumps a little bit quickly to the advanced stuff, which lots of people will like, but some people, as a beginner, you might get lost. So I would recommend doing my animation and rigging course. It's a basic intro. I looked at Peric P2P Designs stuff, and I thought actually an intro to animation would be a good little course in there. So I'll paste the link in the chat, shall I? There's a bit of advertising coming out here. Animation, I'll call it. There you go. There's an animation course. What's going on, Gabbit? I am having fun, having a chat, seeing who's about. I just thought, again, it's getting out of my comfort zone a bit. I stopped doing lives because there's something about them that they are slightly intimidating. You lot are very intimidating, you know that. All 80 of you. There's 80 of you online at the moment. And something always goes wrong. To be fair, it's going okay at the moment. But something kept going wrong with my life. And it was getting stressful trying to go live, thinking, like the last one I did the other day, the sound didn't work because I was using an OBS studio instead of Streamlabs and all this sort of stuff. You get out of practice with these things. And I get very stressed when these things go wrong. Well, I say I get stressed, but relatively laid back, but it feels stressful when things go wrong. So I'm trying to branch out a bit more, have adventures, meet people like I am here. I was having fun the other day. I was challenging myself to just say hello to a stranger. That is a really tough thing to do, but it's good for you. It made me feel really quite happy for the rest of the day, just going up to this stranger. I thought I'm going to tactically, they had a dog, and I thought, aha, that's an easy one to go and say hello to, because I can say, can I pet your dog? And then I had a conversation with this guy called Gary, sitting on a bench he was in Woodbridge. It's lovely. Anyway, slight aside there. Any other questions then? Let's have a look. I'm having fun. Hopefully you have fun with me. Apparently NMY questions don't count. NMY? What? I don't know what that means. You have to understand that I'm fairly old. I don't understand what the young people's language is. Let me know how old people are. I'm interested. Indeed, isn't it, Avocado Fire? Getting out of your comfort zone is good for staying flexible and learning. I was definitely getting in a comfort zone and things were just plodding. And I think I was getting a little bit down from it, actually. So I'm sort of reinventing my life a little bit again, jumping online. And it's wonderful having a YouTube channel where people are going to join in and say hello, such as yourself, Avocado Fire. So questions. I feel like I've missed a question, and they were sort of annoyed with me. I like the style of your grease pencil house you did on here for making game assets. Would it be better just to make 3D models and paint in that style? Or can you use those grease pencil assets? Yeah, that's a really good question, Brent C6946. Yeah, because I did that because I know loads of people like grease pencil. There's lots you can do with animation. It's more a sort of 2D animator tool, really. But when I was doing it, I was thinking, I think I'd rather use the normal texture painting tools. And the cool thing is the outline. That's a really nice feature. But you can get the outline anyway by using a reversed normals extended. There's a way you can get the outline without grease pencil. And it's like the old stylized way of doing it. So I'm on the fence with that one. So yeah, I understand your question, and it depends what you prefer. I did shader editor for 3 months, which my chat just jumped there. Which extra software shader editor for 3 months? Which extra software do you suggest for ultra realistic materials? Substance Painter and Marmoset Toolbag, is it? Do you know, I've never used it, but I've that's sort of similar to. But yeah, Substance Painter has lots of features, and it's just the case of getting a good PBR library as well. Getting good at baking. So if you're going for ultra realistic materials, the underlying geometry often has to be quite ultra realistic as well. So get used to using sculpting. You don't have to be a sculptor, but using sculpting for the damage details, or the, what am I saying, the minute details. I'm trying to think of an example. So I'm just looking for an object around the place. Yeah, so these headphones here, in there, as you can probably tell if I put those up to the camera, there's these sort of creases, and they're fairly kind of random really, and that's where sculpting really plays its part. It's hard to get a material that's random like that. So I like to be able to sculpt on a high poly model, bake it across to a low poly model. That's what I would suggest for ultra realism. Cool. Any more questions? How do you think it is? How hard do you? Excuse me, I can't read. It's quite small text there. My eyes. It's like I say, I'm getting old. No one's shared their age with me yet. I'm 48 myself. How old are you guys? Because I like to know. It's kind of helpful, because I wonder what the age variation is for my target audience, because I can see the YouTube analytics, but I wonder who's kind of really involved, and that's the people on chat. And so I wonder who really is listening, and other people might just be sort of like, oh, whoever that is, Grant on YouTube, whatever. But yeah, I want to know if people are similar age to me, or whether it's usually can't even speak. Similar age, but slightly younger. Just, I think maybe that's just the YouTube audience. Maybe I've got a young person's attitude. That's what it is. Anyway, this is interesting. So Ray Mabula, who's on our, I'm going to talk about that in a second. He's doing. Come to me in a second. What's it called? The Ultimate 3D Artist Program. In fact, if you want to sign up, I should advertise that as well whilst I'm online. Sorry, it's the hard sell, isn't it? The 3D Artist, Ultimate 3D Artist Program. Oh, Faydol. They were on my Ultimate Artist 3D Program in the last round. Nice to see you. Yeah, so it's the last day to sign up. This day, so it will start in 24 hours time. Well, 25 hours time roughly. 8 o'clock tomorrow it's starting, and then you can't sign up after that. Well, you could probably get away with it, but it's not a good idea to miss the first. Well, I don't know, actually. It's recorded, so you could start late. But anyway, yeah, Ray is in my, Ray Mabula is in my Ultimate Artist program. Hopefully still is. It hasn't been put off. And it's a 10-week program where you learn 3D art in a classroom style. So there's lots of this sort of thing with me chatting to you, and there's assignments and feedback. I really enjoy doing that because I get to do this a lot, but it's even more interactive. It's a bit more instant because it's Discord, so you get the instant feedback, and you can invite people up on the stage and talk about the work. That I like that sort of classroom vibe, and it's quite fun as well because you got direct access to the student and you see their work and you can give them feedback. So it's really good. So if you want to do that, there's the link, and the link is in the description as well. So that's my advert. I'll try not to advertise too much. So we've got Ray, you're 50, 34, 23, 35, 30. So yeah, a little bit younger than me. I'm 48, and so hey, Shanaliz, is that right? 48. I'm only just 48. February the 15th was my birthday. So I'm a young 48. You wouldn't know it from the grey hair. Then we got, yeah, so generally people are a little bit younger, but there's a few that are older. So a few 52, you're winning. Hani Tibby, you're winning at the moment. Anybody older than 52? Andrew, close at 50. Who's the youngest? Who have we got the youngest? I think it is KD Animates at 20. Fun stuff. I do like knowing. Yeah, it's a nice spread of age, isn't it? But it is skewing older, isn't it? Yeah, I've noticed that, and I'm obviously finding my tribe. I think, I think that is something that's important in life. I was thinking about that the other day. I was going to do a short on it, actually, a YouTube short, and it's about connecting with people being so important. I feel like because I'm doing this sort of reinventing myself, reinventing. It's not. I'm just having adventures, like I say, and I've found that there's visual adventures where you go out and you see nice things, and that's like being a tourist in some ways. Or I like to go for a walk down my local river. It's lovely, picturesque in Woodbridge. That's where I was the other day. But there's also that social adventure, and that's a little bit tougher to engage with because it's a bit more nerve-wracking. You've got this fear of what other people are going to think of you, and that's the fear I have when I go online. Like I'm going to make a mistake and make myself look silly. But it's really important to get over that fear and face up to your fears. And actually, there's another short I was going to make about embracing failure. So if you learn anything from this stream, if you're watching the stream, my advice to you, anybody out there, is find adventure and embrace failure. So go out and find some adventure. It's really good fun. I've been doing it for the last week or so, maybe a bit longer. But I was slowly sort of figuring out what I wanted to do with myself. And it was like, oh, okay, I'm going to find adventure. And I've been sort of just challenging myself just a little bit to step out and not see everything as because when you get a little bit busy, if, maybe someone invites you out and you think, I haven't really got time, but now I'm thinking, yes, because there might be some adventure at the end of it. And be a yes person and it's really good fun. It's very good fun. I say this and it's, I just saw Boxhead, Fado, Boxhead, Geertus. Oh, these are people who are on my Ultimate Artist program, and it's lovely to see you all. It's like hanging out with my friends, this, isn't it? I do like it. The only thing that's missing is actually getting people to say things without having to read the chat. But yeah, so I've been on this adventure and it's very exciting and I'm having loads of fun and just doing tiny things that I think there might be an adventure there. Let's go for it. And so I've started to go out with my iPad, drawing a little bit more rather than staying in. So I'm just in a social situation, so I might get to chat to someone, saying hello to more people, and you'd be really surprised how much difference it makes. Anyway, I'm going off on one there, but if you do learn anything, or if you're watching this, this could be your sign to go out and have more adventure. It's great fun, and embrace failure is the other thing. Embrace failure, because and anybody who's doing my artist program, that's the first thing I will say. Embrace failure. So it's almost like you jump you could even do it now, jump into Blender and just do something really messy, like fail at making a dragon, because they're quite hard and they'll take time, but try and make a dragon in 1 minute, because you will fail at it and it will be messy, but you get used to failing and learning, because failure is actually a good thing to fail, because you have learnt something and you are that bit closer to your goal, and you have to fail. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go back to the questions. Let's see what people are saying. I've been leaning. Do you mean learning keyframe animations? I think. Is it worth learning nowadays, or is it all mocap? No, certainly not mocap. Certainly not all a mocap by any means. Mocap is still a long way away. It can't do fingers. The feet slip all over the place. It doesn't do faces. It's without an expensive suit, it's quite bad. With an expensive suit, it's just a little bit bad. So there's loads of mocap cleanup to do, and you can't do really cool actions like superheroes. You can't do that with a motion capture suit because people can't fly. So there's loads of stylization in animation. There's the 12 principles of animation, and so if I'm doing mocap, I'll lean back and punch like this. But in stylization, you'll lean back loads and lose balance, and then come forward, and then the fist will stretch and expand out. So to do that stylization, you can't do it with motion capture. AI may be able to do it eventually. It's struggling a lot. It looks a bit. You've got that uncanny valley. I'm kind of happy that AI isn't as good as people make out. There's a long way to go with AI as well in animation. In my opinion, anyway. People will disagree, and I don't want to get into the AI debate too much, but yeah, let's just go back to the question. So hopefully that answers your question about motion capture. Yes, Box said I managed to make it live and it's working. Challenging myself. Blender Chad. Who is there? A Blender Chad on here, or am I the Blender Chad? Angelina or something. After having a nasty burnout and almost unaligned myself about 7 years ago, I chose Adventure 2. Yes. Life is too short not to follow what you are passionate about. I totally agree. And I think I was maybe getting a bit of, not burnout, I wouldn't say. So I wasn't quite where you were, but I could see myself going in that direction. I was getting very comfortable, very ploddy, and a bit boring in my life. I was getting a little bit depressed. And that's why I needed to snap out of it. It sounds a very flippant way of putting it. Because I know there's a lot to mental illness. It's not as simple as snap out of it. But I did hear someone say something that really resonated with me, and it was the cure to anxiety is action. And I thought, oh, that's a really profound thing to say. And you and Angelina, you pronounce the. I'm going to call you Angelina. You choose to take action. And it's that action that pushes you out of anxiety. It's learnt behaviour, and it's not. And I completely understand why it is learnt, because society is very anxious-inducing, and it's very easy to get anxious. And I saw it in lots of my students really struggling, because when I used to teach sixth form, there was lots of anxious students, and I really understood why, because it was not easy being young, poor, whoever it was who's 20 at the moment. It's not easy being young today. It feels very, very difficult. Someone said I saw someone saying, can you imagine all the silly things you did when you were younger, but it's all recorded? And that's kind of what young people have to put up with. It's all sort of on social media, and it's very difficult to get away from. But it's that those students that were able to take control by through action, and it's choosing to do things, and action is the answer to anxiety. And I thought that's a really good way. Might be again a very simplistic way of looking at it, but I think it's a good starting point to think about. So good to hear your story, Angelina. I'm making a goofy pumpkin with some extras in Blender. I can't speak now. Goofy pumpkin with extras. You're slightly late for Halloween, but I love it. Couldn't you technically fake flight by standing and then transposing motion axis? Yeah, you could, but you might as well do it in the program. And there's a whole, if you're flying, this is animation, there's the 12 principles, which is the wind up. So before you fly, you just don't go just boop and fly, you go backwards and then up. That's the anticipation. And then, anticipation. This is the wind up. Sorry, the anticipation is when you anticipate something happening. But it's anticipation and wind up. It's the same thing, are they? I can't remember now. Down and up, and that's exaggerated. And sometimes the human being can't crouch that low to over exaggerate. So there's a long way before motion capture is there. Yes. Oh, Angel Engineer. Haha. Angel. Yeah, that's too difficult for me to get my head around. Cascadeur and Blender / Maya, good combo for mastery. Yeah, Cascadeur looks really interesting at the moment. They call it AI, but it's not AI as we know it now. It's AI as in it sort of has lots of figuring out for weights of your character and stuff, but it's very good. It is hard to avoid stagnation, isn't it, Avocado Fire? Yeah, and that's why I needed to take action. I needed to go out and have some adventures and meet some different people, meet some new people. Do you know what started it, actually? I play a lot of football, and football had ended up being my social time, and I got injured. And it's quite a bad injury. I tore my, medius, the thigh muscle, basically. Quite a nasty tear. It's actually got a dent in my thigh muscle now. And I did it just by kicking the football. I didn't even get tackled or anything. That's how old I am. I kicked the football and it tore tore my thigh muscle. I was really going for it, obviously, very, very long kick. But it stopped me playing football. And I lost out on that social aspect because I didn't want to go and watch my team because it was actually frustrating not to be on the pitch. So I wasn't going out to see anybody, and I was just stuck in, and I was just doing work, watching a bit of TV, watching a bit of anime. I was getting into anime and going to the gym, and that was my life here, gym. And I met people down the gym and stuff. I'm quite an outgoing person, so it seems strange to find it difficult to walk up to someone and say hello, but I needed a little bit extra. And my gym I live in quite an old people area in Marsham Heath. It's very old people centric. Lots of people come here to retire. And so my interaction was with lots of old people. And you need people your own age. I'm an old person, so you can imagine how old these people are, considering I'm old. Anyway, so yeah, I needed to get out of stagnation, and I needed that social interaction. Have adventures. That's the theme of today. 4 months. So this is from Wisdom is Power. I'm enjoying these questions. Hopefully you're enjoying just asking questions and listening in and having a chat maybe with each other as well. It wasn't a hamstring, it was thigh as in quad muscle, quad medius or whatever, the one going down the middle, and I've got a big dent there now. Hi Grant, this is from Wisdom is Power. Wisdom is Power, exactly that. Do you know what I'm thinking? Wisdom is a difficult one to understand, but I call it emotional intelligence. The intelligence to know when to listen to people. The intelligence that, here I am just talking, the opposite of listening. And the intelligence to know that all arguments are nuanced. I think that's missing from today, and that's the wisdom that's missing from our society today. Could go into that into loads of depth, but how did I get onto that? Sorry, wisdom is... anyway, yeah. I got completely distracted there. 4 months into... Wisdom is Power is your name, that's why, yeah. And I think that is. Anyway, I'm 4 months into into Blender and have a background in traditional art and sculpting. Brilliant stuff. Speak to Boxhead, who's on here. That's them. They did the art program, and they are a brilliant artist now. A brilliant 3D artist. They were brilliant artists before, and they were now a brilliant 3D artist. I want to become a game asset creator and work as a professional, but don't know where to start. Please advise. Talk to Boxhead, if you don't mind me saying that, Boxhead. But he was in that exact situation. He did the art program, the Ultimate Artist program. I'm not saying you have to do the art program because you might not be able to afford it. You might not have the time to do it. But maybe Boxhead can give you some advice on how he went from a traditional artist to a very good 3D artist in that sort of a bit beyond 10 weeks, because he did it before he started there. So, so Wisdom is Power. Boxhead is your man there. Thanks to Grant. I taught Boxhead everything he knows, apart from all the really awesome stuff about his artwork. He knew all that way more than I do, to be honest. So he was teaching me stuff. That's one thing that's great about teaching, is your students will teach you, and you learn as well. It's wonderful. It's a Faydol. Nice to see you again. See you, hear you, read you. I'm making silicon mermaid tops, awesome, and accessories out of silicon, which I'm designing in Blender. That's so cool, isn't it? That might be how do I design for different cup sizes? Are there 3D mannequins? That's a really good question. I'm afraid you always, and you were doing this in the Ultimate Artist, you were always asking questions, and I thought, I have no idea. I have no idea. There are definitely base models that you can choose from, but that's a really tough one because I'm assuming this, you would have to, because if you're doing it, you're a designer, you'd probably get these, first of all, you'd have a model, whether it's yourself or someone else, or that you would use to test these things, and you would measure up and do that bespoke. I'm assuming, because it's just like people who do cosplay, they use Blender, don't they, quite often, and there's silicon parts and stuff like that. So a very similar sort of scenario. A really interesting one. So they usually measure themselves and around the place and stuff, and then what did I see someone doing? They actually, they sort of sellotape things onto them as guides, and then measured those guides and stuff. That's probably the way. But I imagine there is like charts of here's the average person, but it's quite tricky, isn't it? There must be some models. You'll have to tell me what research. Do some research and find out and come back to me, because that's a really interesting question. But I imagine there must be some, at least. I don't think there's any 3D mannequins, but there must be, dimensions, precise dimensions for different bras, and different cup sizes, I guess. Cool question, and I'm inadequate to know the answer to that one, I'm afraid. A TV remote for the guy to hold would be cool. That's a good idea. It's like he's got a TV remote that changes his faces, his expressions. Excellent. That's a really cool one. That is from Brent C. I like your style. TV remote. I'm just going to write that down quickly. TV remote for, I think he's called Dev or Devon, as in game Devon. How clever is that? That's what they put it out to the community about what should his name be. TV remote for Devon. Okay. Hi Grant. How to make videos like Zach D Films. I'm going to have to look that up. So I'm going to just jump on here. Zach D Films. I'll do it off screen for the moment, just in case. I remember someone chatting to me, and they were doing animations, and they said, "Oh, I've done some animations. Here's the link." And I clicked on the link, and it said, "You can't access it from my country," and it was pornographic material. Saying it quietly doesn't make any difference with her. But I thought, "Oh, okay, that's a use for Blender, I guess, isn't it?" Yeah. So that's why it's good to click on links off screen, isn't it? Exactly Films. Okay, so so I'm looking at this. It looks like this. These will be, by the looks of things, I'm assuming they are like DAZ 3D, I think it's called. They have 3D character models, and you can kind of pose them and move them about, and it's kind of an animation tool in that sense. So DAZ 3D, look that up, and that's a starting point for that one, I think. I can't teach you that specifically, but what would help is my animation course. I'm going to, animation we're talking about today, so I'm going to post that again. I'm going to post my animation course link. Go buy my animation course. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, let's try that again. Obviously, I'm not supposed to be advertising, because it didn't work. So I'm going to try it again and force it. What's that? It's like manifestation, isn't it? You mustn't force manifestation. My friend's into manifestation, and we have long chats about it, and it's really interesting because I can understand how the psychology of manifestation is actually a good thing, and we chat about it, and I've learned lots from them because they're perhaps more into the spiritual side, and I'm thinking, there is something to be said, because a placebo is a powerful tool in the brain anyway. So and I saw someone, and a really interesting psychology trick is to be almost delusional in your self-confidence. It doesn't mean sort of like overconfidence or arrogance, but delusional. Hang on, I'll answer that in a second. Yeah, try not to spam the chat. That's me being a teacher there, naughty. But be delusional in your self-confidence. And I think, have that real confidence that things are going to work out for you. And when they don't, it's like, oh, well, maybe that bit wasn't meant to be, but it's teaching me something, so it's going to happen here. And that, I think it's really cool. Quickly, Hirschmeyer-Dedia. Do you think learning Blender is really okay, or an efficient skill in the age of AI? Yeah, I think it's still definitely worth learning at the moment, because AI isn't there. If AI takes away animation, it'll be taking away loads of jobs, and society has to restructure itself anyway. So it's one of those things where you've got to learn something, and to assume that your job is just going to get taken, so don't learn anything, is defeatist. I think even if AI comes along, you will still need the fundamentals. Because if I try and take up coding now, right? And I go and download Claude or whatever it is. Do you see what I mean? I don't know where to start. What do I download in order to code? And someone showed me the other day, they were a programmer, and they showed me Claude, and it was, oh, look, I can make a Pong game, is it Pong? It is Pong, yeah, with the ball, isn't it? Yeah, bat and ball game. And I was, oh yeah, that's really cool. Now give it 2 balls, and it bounced around with 2 balls. Brilliant stuff. But one, he knew what to ask to some degree, and how to set it up and install it and all those sort of things. There's quite a lot to learn there, and there is learning to be had there. But also, what happens when you say, now turn this into a 3D game, now add this feature, and when you start getting into that stage, I think it's very difficult for AI to pick up. And then it's dealing with the bugs. So if it's buggy, where do we go in? And you hear this all the time in the industry, that senior software, in fact, I heard the other day that software engineers are actually slower with AI because those that are their teams are using AI, and then they have to go in and debug, and that's the real pain of it at the moment. Maybe one day it won't need it, but it's still going to be bloaty and difficult. I think we're still a long way away. It's that last 5-10% that's really hard to beat and get to. We're seeing cool stuff, but you always see the best on YouTube. You see the bestest ever AI, and it's still not quite there. And that's the best they could come out with in their showcases and things. So we're still a long way away, and the fundamentals are still going to be important. So in animation, you're going to need to know all your 12 principles of animation, so you can change things around, adapt things. And it's most likely actually that AI will be used in conjunction with a good animator. So it'll be like Cascadeur is a bit like that. You say, here's my start pose, my start keyframe. Here's my end pose. Now work the stuff out in between, the tweening, that's called. But AI will do those sort of things better, and maybe it will be make the 3D model so it's like this. But there's so much, and it's not replacing artists yet. Well, it will. And there's no doubt that I'm going into an AI spiel, and I didn't want to. But there's no doubt that AI will take away some jobs or reduce teams down. But I think it's not as simple as that at the moment. At the moment, big companies are trying to get rid of people because it's cost efficient to use AI instead, and it's failing. Game industry, they're not taking any risks. They're trying to save money all the time, and they're coming out with repetitive games. And I was talking to Jack Sather the other day, the gaming YouTuber, and I'll release that video probably tomorrow actually, of an interview with him. And we were saying right at the end of that interview that these big companies are failing. They're distracted by AI. They think that's where they're going to make all their savings, make their money, and the indie devs are actually taking over now. He's saying, I'm going across to indie games, but it's hard for him as a YouTuber to talk about these indie games because they're not as big. They're not the big Fortnite or Call of Duty that you need to do YouTube videos about. But he loves playing the indie games, and that's where he wants to be. And he's making his own game, all sorts. So yeah, we're a long way away. But how long is very debatable. But we're a long way away from it just stripping out the need for people. You learn the fundamentals. That's important. I really went off on one there, but I think it's a good question that lots of people are asking, so I felt like spending some time on it. I was planning to do a little bit of work, but before I answer any more questions, a quick roundup of where we're at. So I thought I'd jump on and talk about having adventure, trying new things. And you can ask me any question you like, whether it's Blender or even life related. We've talked a little bit about life and some of the challenges out there. I do like talking about that as well. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is because I needed more adventure in my life. So that's one aspect of coming and jumping online. I was going to do a bit of work as well, but I end up chatting too much and then don't do much. But I've got Blender open if you want to ask any specific Blender questions. We talked a little bit about that as well. And I kind of want to know about people and what they're going through and stuff like that. That's helpful to me as a teacher to know what people are asking. what people need, and I like just relating to people. That's just fun, isn't it? And it's always a little bit scary going online, but especially with how bad I am at technology. So I needed to do something scary today. Otherwise, I would have just sat in front of the TV. I was feeling quite tired, and I thought, could just sit down in front of the TV, or I could go live and say hello to people. And I feel much more alive at the moment. So that is the difference between taking action or just getting in your comfort zone, which was going to be watching some anime. What am I watching at the moment? It was quite a fun one. Although anime can be really weird at times. Oh, thank you, Sassy Game Dev. That's really kind of you. Just go ahead and assume that LLMs, LVMs, LIMs are going to take your job and go make stuff anyway until the revolution happens. Do you know, that's another good way of looking at it. They may take our jobs, but they will not take our creativity. And I think that's really important. Lots of people think, oh, I'm doing this for a career, but do it for the love of it, I think. Yeah, thanks for that reminder, Sassy Game Dev. Quite right. But there is, at the moment, there's still opportunities out there if you are not using AI, and you are, you can, I think, use it to aid you in certain things. I wouldn't use generative AI because people are put off by it, and do the sort of indie dev thing and have your own ideas, have fun, have adventure, and I think you'll be rewarded for it. You'll be rewarded mentally anyway. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And it looks like other people are enjoying that as well. I know you've got to make a living. I know it's not easy, and that it does get tough. There's lots I could say about that, but it gets a bit political, and I don't really want to go into the politics. Politics can be very divisive and divided. That's the same thing as divisive, isn't it? Yeah. Hey Grant, I want to make low. So this is from Shafi. I feel like I recognise that name. And Blender Kid Blender. When will the workshop start? That's, yeah, hello, by the way, because I recognise your name as well. It's starting tomorrow, and it goes on for 10 weeks. So you've got only a short amount of time to jump in. I'm going to share the link. I'm going to share it. I'm doing it because a little bit of advertising. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm way behind on the chat, actually, aren't I? Yeah, there's my 3D artist program. 10-week program, classroom-like activities, assignments, feedback. You know the drill. Go and have a look at it if you're interested. Okay. Almost everyone in every job is worried about AI. Exactly that. And I think there's nothing we can do. Worrying is not going to help us at all. And like Sassy Game Dev says, AI is going to take our jobs, but make stuff anyway. Let's do it anyway. Because what are we going to do? We're going to sit around upset that AI is taking our jobs, or we're just going to do stuff anyway, be creative, come up with ideas, at the least utilize AI, I guess, to make something interesting and do it in a different way. And perhaps it's for you to decide. That one. Anyway. Right, we're doing a little bit. AI will likely crash and burn it. There's definitely an instification going on. If you haven't come across that, I don't want to swear online. If I say it really quickly, then it's probably right. Instification. But that's when companies release stuff for free to start with, and then they put it behind a paywall, and you have to pay loads for it. They're losing money. The AI companies are losing money at the moment, so they can't keep going on like that. There is a bubble. There's no doubt when all the analysts are coming out saying there's a bubble, you know that there's a bubble, and yeah, I'm starting to get into economist politics, and I'm very interested in politics and the economy and economics. Sorry, and I could talk about that for hours. I'm not going to, but it could well crash and burn. Yeah, but. As a reminder, though, the dot-com era, the dot-com bubble in the 2000s, that popped badly, but it is back, and we are now in what they were promising in that dot-com bubble. We are getting to some of that. We're still not there in what they were promising. They were promising the world, hence why the bubble popped, and the AI companies are promising the world at the moment. and it will probably pop in a sense. How it's going to pop is difficult to say though. Right. I'm really enjoying this. I do love this chat. Hopefully you're enjoying it as well, and this is useful to you. I've got Blender open if you want to ask any Blender questions, but I'm happy answering these questions as well, how I see them anyway. Is it okay to generate AI images for concepts as a 3D artist? It's okay. Yeah. I mean, it's debatable, and it's up to you. There'll be the people out there saying, do not use AI for anything. You are encouraging the AI companies, and I understand where they're coming from. Personally, I'm an educator and I want to understand generative AI, so I will not use it, but I will use it in the sense of, oh, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. I don't use it for my own work because I don't like what it comes up with. I find it very generic. Very occasionally, you think, oh, I can't find any reference images for that. Then I might use some sort of generative AI just to help me to envisage, and if I can't go out and find the reference for myself. It's really rare that I do that, but it's handy for that. In concepts, I find they're really generic, really obvious. It's like AI has been able to, I've said this to Jack Sather the other day, AI has been able to write stories for ages now. If you read one of the AI stories, you can recognize it because it's dull and boring and it's generic and it does the same thing but slightly different. Just like insert character's name here went and did this, which is the generic thing that every character does when they start off a story. It's really dull and there's no life to it. And that's the problem with the concepts. But if you have lots of them and then you are picking from them, then maybe. I find it a bit slow for finding concepts as well. I'd rather use things like Pinterest and ArtStation to grab ideas from. I suppose what you might be thinking is concept arts in background images. I mean, yes, it's okay to do that, but I think work with someone else. It would be my suggestion. I don't want to push it on to you. That's my thoughts on it anyway. But yes, it's okay to use AI images for concepts. A lot of the time the proportions are out. That's the only problem with using AI as well. They're very generic and often the proportions are a bit wrong. Anyway, right. Learn to understand the art. This is Raymu Mobula. Learn to understand the art. If you have no foundation, you have no idea how to fix the issue or how to instruct the model. Exactly that. I wouldn't know where to start in how to instruct Claude to make a game because I wouldn't know aspects like make this a multiplayer game. Is that gonna work? I want this person to be able to do this, and is it just going to export the game with multiplayer mode? Where do you upload it? How do you get multiplayer working? I wouldn't have a clue. Yeah, without those fundamentals, I'm lost, aren't I? This is my opinion. Maybe someone will say, yeah, you just say that to Claude. I did it the other day. It's more because of economics than tech itself, yeah. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Data centers. Oh my goodness. Let's not go there. This is the key, isn't it, Geertus 3D? I mean, there are still painters after the innovation of the photo camera. Exactly that. And I think this is the key. I will still be drawing when AI takes over and can do all the drawing, because I like drawing. I'll still be making 3D models because I like doing it. And if AI does it so well, then I might go back to clay and make 3D models out of clay, or make costumes, or I want to be creative. Or I want to learn to dance at the moment. That's my new adventure as well. I want to learn to dance, salsa probably, or bachata or something like that. It looks quite fun. Anyway, going off on one. The most sorry, AI sometimes yeah, extra fingers, yeah. What's your thoughts on box cutter and mesh machine workflows? Yeah, really good for hard surface modeling. Make a lot of sense, and yes, use them. A good idea. I've not used them much, but I've heard they're really good. I've seen the results. Very fast. That's a good use. I'm on to something Humphreys, Mick Hale Humphreys. The most I ever earned was $90 for a low poly character. but it's hard to get clients. It's very hard to get clients. You need to do something that's a little bit more unique. You need to find your niche. You need to find your clients. You need to because lots of people go into game design, asset design, and think, I want to make this. If you want to be a business person, you want to make money from it, you need to go and ask the audience what they need and solve a problem. That's business acumen 101, is go to the business and ask them what they need, and then do it, and then sell it to them. And that's the way round it should be. Not, I want to make this, which I think is cool still. I want to make this, hopefully I'll sell one. I did that for ages, just because I wanted to learn 3D. So I'll make stuff and hopefully sell some. Sold a few, and that's great. Got a few freelance contracts, but these days it's very much go out and solve problems. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense there as well. When will your Blender workshop start? Oh, I've had that one. That's but I'll answer it again. It's tomorrow, about 24 hours from now, 8 o'clock, it will start. So last chance to purchase the program, link in the description. 10 weeks of intensive learning with assignments, feedback, classroom style. Love it. Oh, I've jumped a bit there. Oh no, my chat just suddenly jumps and then I lose my place. Any advice or otherwise resources on how to achieve an authentic looking claymation style in Blender? Oh yeah, so animated nodes. So you've got like, if you think displacement and bump nodes, if you animate those, then it's going to look all sort of like it's moving and bobbling and stuff. And you can, so your first step will be to make a clay shader, and using procedural techniques like a noise texture for the bump. And then second, next, do you want to try and make that nice and realistic, get the sort of plasticine look, or was it clay look, Claymation. Plasticine I think is a brand, isn't it? Modeling clay, and it's slightly shiny, isn't it? It catches the light in a certain way. You'll get sort of fingerprint smudges in there, that sort of thing. Get those textures and get that perfect. Then work on the animating aspect, and you might need a displacement map in there as well. Animated displacement, so it sort of bobbles and wobbles around. That's what I would say. Also animate on twos probably, so miss a frame and it will just sort of, there's a very slight stutter to it, because most stop motion animation is 12 frames per second most, whereas film, for example, is 24, more like 48 these days. So you get that sort of stuttery sort of motion. Hopefully that makes some sense there. Is it easy to make a living by doing Blender YouTubing? That's a really interesting question. I make a living from it, yes, but I have to sell courses, hence the program. I'm actually maybe an educator first, YouTuber second. I like to call myself a YouTuber. It depends who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to someone young, I might say I'm a YouTuber. If I'm trying to chat someone up, I might say I'm an artist. That sounds better, doesn't it? I'm an artist. Put my beret on. I'm an artist. You and me, Boxhead, we're artists. Boxhead is a much better artist than I am. I don't know why I did that. If I'm talking to someone older, I might just say I'm a teacher, because people understand you more. But really, I'm a 3D artist, educator, and YouTuber is what I do. But so in a way, I've got a sideline, which is my education. But that's my kind of unique selling proposition, USP. I'm an educator. That's why people listen to me, and I've got a nice British accent that people seem to like. But they trust me because I have their interests at heart. Being an educator, I'm there to help them, and that's my kind of USP, unique selling proposition, as a business person. So it's hard to just be a Blender YouTuber unless you have something unique about you. So other people, Ian Hubert is a really good one. Shout out to Ian Hubert. Let me know, say Ian Hubert, shout out on here if you know who I'm talking about. He started by doing his 1-minute tutorials, and they were brilliant. Absolutely fantastic tutorials in only 1 minute, and they talked about quite advanced things in a funny, comical way. He's got a comedy about him. He's got a really cool style. That's his unique selling proposition. He has an advanced understanding of how to use Blender in film, So he's a good, so you can trust him. If you want to know anything about film, you go to Ian Hubert and you look at what he's done and how he's done it, and you learn from that. So you will need a unique selling point, proposition, USP, as they say. Am I saying that right? USP doesn't sound right at the moment when I'm saying that. Anyway, where were we? AI may take our jobs, but not our creativity. Yes, Laurie. Sorry, Avocado Fire Game. I know Avocado Fire Game personally, so that's why I jumped in with their real name then. Excuse me. Which you probably don't mind. I think that's all right. Sassy Game Dev, we're all proud of you, by the way. You came out with the right thing there. The right message. And you donated $5. I'm very proud of you. What with... no, that's not a question. I have no questions, just appreciation for the free content you put on here. Thank you very much. I was helped by many of your videos and other content creators like you. Thank you from Morocco. Do you know, I'd like to visit Morocco. I keep thinking, because I'm probably going to go on an adventure, a literal go on a plane adventure, traveling adventure soon. I'm thinking of doing a digital nomad thing, going around, because I can do this from anywhere, perhaps, if I've got a good connection and a decent laptop, which I have. You know, I've got all that stuff. And I was thinking of going to Morocco, so maybe we can meet up. Abdo the Heretic. Oh, the Heretic. Can we meet up? I don't know. So there we go. I was thinking, I'm going off on one again, I know, but I'm thinking maybe a quick trip to Greece. Maybe Kazakhstan looks interesting. Tbilisi and Georgia look really interesting as well. These are sort of nomad spots where the infrastructure's good and the internet's good. So that's what I'm thinking. But I probably won't do it for a couple of months because I want to do the art program, have all my systems set up, and there's time zones as well with the live calls of the art program. Oh, did I mention the art program? Last chance to join the art program, 10-week course, classroom style, assignments, feedback. But yeah, so I'll probably do it after the program, and then maybe I fancy going around and meeting people. Maybe I need to meet people that are on the art program, because I'm getting like Boxhead. We had a great chat the other day. Mongolia. Oh yeah. Maybe. I'm nervous of going to America because apparently they check your social media history and anything that's anti-Trump. Not saying that I'm anti-Trump, but I'm doing the art program literally tomorrow. Would you believe it? Avocado Fire Game. I don't know whether I've said that or not. Good question though. As I was reading that, I realised you were being sarcastic. Can't afford... now this is a good one. Thank you. I'll quickly... no, I'll go on to this one. I can't afford any courses, unfortunately. Any advice? Yes. It's okay. There's different ways of learning. And when I was learning Blender, there was very little out there. Blender Guru, weirdly, I learned a bit from Blender Guru because he was one of the only people doing tutorials at the time. But they were hard to follow, to be fair, and they're not taking anything away from him. He's good. He's actually a fairly good educator, but he goes advanced quite quickly, and it's hard to follow. But there's lots of Blender YouTubers out there now. There is a sort of pathway you can choose. You can choose things like my low poly Monster and Man course to start you off, then go on to the Well course, then choose some of my playlists. I would go that pathway. It's much easier if you can afford a course, so because they're a bit more methodical and they take you through stage by stage. Also, YouTube is not the best for teaching because you're trying to cram it into a short space of time for people's for people's attention span. You've got that sort of clickbaity sort of stuff where you're trying to get views and all this sort of thing. So and you avoid certain subjects because they're too advanced and there's not enough audience for it. So courses are better in that sense, but you can learn most stuff through YouTube. So it's okay if you can't afford it, and I appreciate that. That's why I try my best to have lots of content out there, and I know a video is going to do badly, but I put it out there anyway because I know it's going to be important for people to see. And hopefully, like, who was it? Whoever donated, much appreciated. People will donate or they'll support me in some way anyway, so luckily I can get enough through that. But that's why I try and put as much free stuff out there so people around the place can access it, because I was in your situation at one point. I couldn't really afford a course, and there weren't even courses. It was a nightmare. I remember getting a VHS course, and you could hardly, the screen was so blurry you couldn't really see where they were clicking, and I was so desperate to model a car, which they were doing. Anyway, so hopefully that gives you some comfort, the fact that you can't afford it. Usually if you, hopefully you've got the time to put in. That's because you'll need more time without a course. That's the only thing. Try not to have an argument about AI. This is where it does get divisive. I do appreciate it's a very divisive subject. And we shouldn't, if you hate AI, I understand it. I don't like it myself. But I wouldn't want to criticize anybody using it, because it's here. I use certain things that have the invention of had a very suspiciously bad past when it was created. I drive a car which uses oil and wrecks our atmosphere. There's things that we are all. In fact, I started doing it. But what I'm trying to say is that the arguments, it's not as simple as definitely don't do AI, definitely do AI. There's a lot of nuance to it. It's very difficult, and people are scared, unsure. The best thing to do is to listen to each other, especially people on the other side. I try and do this with politics as well. It's really important to listen, and it's a lost art in today's world. But you will learn more if you listen more, and you will be more equipped to deal with the difficulties that come if you are learning. So listen more, learn more, and you're more equipped to deal with what's coming. God, the phrases are coming out today, aren't they? Oh. They'll take our jobs, but not our creative. Anyway, moving on. So what I'm saying is try not to pick a side. If you do pick a side, try and listen to the other side. I guess that's it. You maybe do pick a side. Oh dear, I said the wrong thing there. You can pick a side, that's fine, but listen to the other side. Always be listening. And try not to jump to the hatred of the other side. The economy is not in a good state anyway. Yeah, it's worth saying that job losses are not always because of AI. Our economy, the global economy is struggling. And you hear all this news about GDP here, GDP there. But GDP only reflects how the big companies are doing. And big companies aren't doing too badly. The people at the bottom, which is generally 90% of the population, I can't think of any place that's doing well there if you look into the economics of it. So it's not just AI that's causing it. It could be an attributing cause, but there's other things like wars tend to mess up economies in quite a big way. Anyway, I'm doing it again. I'm going into politics. Stop it. Right. Look for questions that are about how to hide objects from HDR light. Only specific objects. Goodness me. How do we do that? Because there's light linking. I've got to remember where light linking is. I'm glad to have a Blender question, by the way. So I always struggle to find light linking is in the object properties, and you have to click on your light. Oh no, I'm moving the camera again, aren't I? That's fine. Come out of camera view. Right, so click on my light, don't I? And then, do you know, I can never remember. I always have to look up where it is. It really annoys me. And I heard someone say this the other day, and I couldn't agree more. Blender is made by programmers for programmers because they put things and label things in weird places, and it's really very frustrating because now I can't. It's in shading. Yes, lighting. It's very hard to find things. So I've got my light selected, and then I add a new light link in here, but that's not HDRIs. How can we stop one thing being lit by an HDRI? Do you know? I'm not sure. I'm not sure you can. How do I hide an object from an HDR light? I'm not sure you can, you know. That's a really good question. Maybe someone can answer that for me. Right. I'm going to skip any AI questions. Which I'm skipping a lot of questions and comments. In fact, it would help if you put QSTN or question before your questions. So I'll start reading those. So if you haven't done that, then put question beforehand. Then I can skip the comments and quickly get to other people's questions. Hopefully people are enjoying the chat. I'm really enjoying the chat. I'm fascinated to learn about people and find out about what people are thinking and what their questions are. It helps me learn. And if you just joined us, I'm talking about quite a few things. The main one the reason why I came on is I'm trying to have more adventure in my life. And going live is quite an adventure. You should try it. Just go live. Go into a Discord and join the sort of voice chat. Just see what happens. That's a challenge for you. Go into a Discord that you regularly, well, maybe not even regularly frequent. But maybe it's one that you understand and know a few people or know what goes on, and join the voice call and see what happens. But this is me going live, is having more adventure in my life, and I'm having fun. I was really tired before I came online, and it was between this, sitting down and watching TV. And I knew sitting down and watching TV was going to be in my comfort zone, and I really need to get out of my comfort zone. So that's why I'm live today, and you're helping me, so I appreciate that. Of course, we're answering Blender questions as well. I'm doing a tiny bit of advertising, only a tiny bit of advertising. I don't know whether I've mentioned it, but the 3D Artist program starts tomorrow, 8 o'clock GM. So this time tomorrow is when it starts. So you've got this, your last chance to purchase the art program, 10-week course, classroom style learning, assignments, feedback, and a really cool community. I forgot to mention that. And some of our community with us. Some might have left by now because they're bored of listening to me. Well, Geertus is still here. Hello, Geertus. And we had Boxhead in here as well. I think we had... what's the name? It will come to me in a second. I might even see them again. It's gone. There were others on here that I recognised. Anyway, so put question before your questions. Put the actual word question or QSTN. It's my dyslexia playing up there, I tell you. And then I know it's a question. It'll be easier for me to go through them. Right, so we've got one from Una Banana. I feel like I recognise that name. So we've got how to start YouTube channel with 3D art animation. What will make good first video? Well, I was saying earlier, and I might have already answered this, and you might have asked it before I was saying, but have a unique thing about yourself. So do things that you like, because you'll be able to... because lots of people start off saying, I want to make money out of YouTube, so what are people watching? So I'll just do that. And then it becomes a drag to try and motivate yourself to do these things that you don't really enjoy doing. So do something you enjoy doing, and you'll stick at it. That's why I've stuck at this channel for 15 or so years. Plodding along. I like teaching, I like meeting people, I like solving people's problems, I like community, so that's why I'm still doing it. I like chatting to people like this. I like reading all the comments. I read every single comment, and I like giving a little heart, and usually no matter what the comment says, because it's thanks for engaging with me. I like it. I like to hear what you have to say. And that's why I'm still doing it now, because I like this. And I'd stopped doing lives because they were quite intimidating. But here I am trying to have more adventures. So that's my encouraging thing to you today. Get out there, have more adventures. And one of my challenges to myself the other day, because I struggle in that first connection with people. When I'm chatting online, it's easy with you guys because you're all interested in what I might want to say. You're my tribe in a sense, aren't you? So it's easy to chat to everyone and hear. But to start that conversation with someone new is intimidating. So I challenged myself to do that the other day, and I met a guy and his little dog. What was it? Lola. A little dog Lola. A Pomeranian, I think they are. Really fluffy white dog. Anyway, going off on one there. So anyway, that's how you start with your YouTube channel. You do things that you love doing. Don't think about the money aspect of it. Think about doing things you like, doing things you enjoy, doing things that you want to do, and those other money things, if they don't come, then it might not be, the world isn't ready for your channel, and you might have to figure out some other things. And often with me, I was doing other things at the same time. That's often the case with those sort of starting up. I wouldn't really suggest, unless you have a really unique idea of quit job, go and do YouTube. I would suggest starting it at the same time as you got us. It starts as your side hustle, as they say, don't they? Right. I'm going to look for questions. This isn't coffee. This is, do you know, this is a tea, but it's a rooibos tea, which is a non-caffeinated tea. I take fitness and diet very seriously. One of those sort of people. I'm always about self-improvement, hence why I'm doing some adventure. But yeah, so I have a non-caffeinated tea. I'm drinking this with a ginormous mug. And it looks even bigger when it's close to the camera. That's forced perspective. Artist tool. Right. There we go. People are doing the @ That's a good idea, isn't it? Do you ever get more... Oh, it jumped. It jumped. Oh, no. Where'd it go? Oh, no. I've lost your question. Oh, I'm sorry about this. I think it was an email. Ah, there it is. I found it again. This is from Boxhead. Do you ever get more into VR sculpting? I saw a video you did on it. I really wanted to, and I wanted to, but it was time consuming, and I couldn't see a use case for it in what I was doing, because you had to use their specific program. What was the program called? I've lost it now. Sculptress? That sounds like another program. You had to use that program, and you had to get to know it, and could I import it into Blender? It was just a longer workflow that I wasn't prepared to pick up and learn. It was just as easy for me to go on my computer, on my drawing tablet. I was quite excited to stand there doing the sculpting and stuff, but I didn't take it any further. So I'm hoping that VR will have a resurgence, and we'll be able to do more of it, and it'll become more of a thing. But it wasn't quite there yet, for me anyway. It was there if you want to get into sculpting and just have fun. That's quite cool, but I'm just much faster on Blender, so I just never had the time to waste is what it felt like. Blender kid, Blender, what type of if dance? Yeah, do you know, I love to dance and get on the dance floor and move around. It's very sort of sporty, sporty and creative. So I like movement. I love creativity. So dance is like perfect in there, and I'd love to learn. And I like dancing with other people in a sort of formation dance or as a team dance. Those sort of things. It's great fun, and partnership dance. So like something like salsa or bachata would be quite fun, and those type of things. So that's where I would go. It's not beer now. You have the right look for a salsa dancer? I don't think I do. Do I? I think I look... I would imagine a salsa dancer to be sort of Latin American or Spanish. And I don't have the dark features. I have the grey features. Anyway, there's a few chats about... question. Do you think it's worth... So this is from Ben. Do you think it's worth me doing the workshop? You've seen my work. Oh, Ben. Yeah, I've seen your work. You'll do well. Yeah. I talked about Ben's... We had a session recently, and it was about portfolio and stuff like that. Confused there. So an alert came up, but I couldn't work out what it was. Thanks for signing up to my membership, Old Hig 106. I couldn't work out what the alert was then, and it distracted me. Thanks very much. It's a great way to support me is to sign up to the channel or buy one of my courses. Another way to support me. I'm selling my art program at the moment. That's the best way to support me in some ways, and we get to meet properly. That's the fun of that one. Anyway, sorry. What was I saying? Is it worth you doing the workshop? So I was reviewing people's art in the previous live stream, and Ben's work came up, and I would say you're a strong intermediate, so there's still lots to learn, and the program, I would say, is aimed a bit more towards a solid beginner, that's like the ideal. You're a solid beginner, and you're looking for lots of feedback and assignments to kind of push yourself forward. So solid beginner to intermediate. You can be a complete beginner. It's a bit harder to do the program though. And we do the first week of it is sort of an induction week almost, where you have to work quite hard, and you're going to see then whether it's something you like. You can actually get your money back as well if you try. You just sign up and get your money back if you don't like it. Is my suggestion there. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Fadol. It's a great course, is what Fadol says. Thanks for that. And Fadol was one of our fantastic alumni from last year, and they did some amazing work. How's the game going, Fadol? Are you still working on that? Right, any more questions? There's a question here that do you have any advice on learning geometry nodes as a beginner? I'd love pointers on a good way to learn them. I steer clear of geometry nodes, if I'm honest. It's just not my thing. I feel like I really ought to learn it, but it's time consuming, and I've got other things that I want to do instead first. So Stephen Woods is the person who does Geometry Nodes course, the Geometry Nodes course on Game Dev TV. If you follow one of the links in the description, that will take you to Game Dev TV, and you can buy the Geometry Nodes course. And he's quite good to chat to and ask questions about as well. So you can kind of contact him on there and ask him about those sort of things. He's on the program as well. He's my sidekick. I called him the sidekick the other day. But he does you could join the program, and then you get to speak to Stephen. He loves talking about geometry nodes, and he does the clinics midweek where he'll sort of go through those sort of things. JD Shark, that's who I'm thinking of. Sorry about that. Good to see you, JD Shark. I couldn't remember your name for a moment then. You were hidden. And that is the other person who's one of my the people on the program, and they're one of the experts. And we invite experts to come back and join us in the program. And JD Shark is one of them. Geertus is another. Boxhead is another. It's nice to see you on here. My friends joining us. Let's Grease Pencil. Is it an underrated storyboard tool for 3D blockouts and concepting? Quite possibly. It depends who you're talking to. It is a cool tool in that sense. There's lots that you can do with Grease Pencil. It's pretty awesome, it's got to be said. But it's awesome for the right people. And it still feels a little bit like early days for Grease Pencil. This is the problem with Blender a lot of the time. Don't criticise Blender much, but this is the second time I'm going to criticise Blender today for the same thing, which is that Grease Pencil is, again, it's one of those things where they thought, wouldn't it be cool if? And they did it, but they haven't really designed it for artists. They're getting better. They're taking feedback. They're doing well with all those things. But they are programmers designing art tools, and it's quite funny how that happens and works. So Grease Pencil is still a little bit like that. I think they're going to do some changes for 5.1, which is a pain because I just come out with a Grease Pencil course, and it's going to be defunct as soon as that comes out. And it's so annoying because I'll have to rewrite that course. But anyway, let's have a look for more questions. Remember to put QTSN or question before you ask the question. I'm catching up slowly. Do you think it's worth me doing the workshop? You've seen my work. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I've gone backwards. Armenia. Come and see you in Denmark. I've been thinking about that, Boxhead. I might come and see you. I'm afraid I want to go to warm places. No offence, but I've been in England for the winter. But maybe when it's actually starting to get warmer, I'll pop over to Denmark and say hello. Hello from Uruguay. I was thinking about visiting Uruguay, but South America I've been thinking about. I would like somewhere where the cost of living is cheap, because I'm a bit of a cheapskate. And I'm not one who's... because some people are sort of very entrepreneurial. I suppose I try and be entrepreneurial, but I like the idea of just living cheaply and being an artist and then doing this sort of thing and just chilling out. And I'm not having to worry about money. And I could just come on here and chat to people and teach and live a simple life. Do you visit game conventions and stuff like that? Do you know, that's probably a challenge and a cool adventure that I should take on. But I should go to the Blender conventions, and I haven't been yet. That would be a good thing to do, wouldn't it? May Ray Blender Guru demotivated me taking on Blender. I honestly, loads of people do the donut, but it is actually, I think, a little bit off-putting because he goes really advanced very quickly, trying to show all of Blender, and I think you're better off doing my free course. I have a course online, which I think, as a teacher, I've designed it with that in mind. I think, right, what are the pain points for students? What are they going to struggle with? What do they actually want to learn and need to learn if they want to learn Blender? So take my free, I've got 2 free courses actually. There's one actually on Game Dev TV. So if you go on to Game Dev TV, there's a free course on there as well if you want to get into Blender. But I think most people have probably done my free course if they're on here. Oh, thanks very much, Old Hig 106. I started watching your channel. I'm also I'm a new solo developer, and I appreciate the hell out of your stuff. Thanks for what you do. I appreciate that. It's nice to get that feedback. I always appreciate getting a thanks like that because it helps me know I'm on the right track. And I appreciate everybody saying that, whether they donate or not. But I'd appreciate the donations as well. Always feels like it's just a little boost, isn't it? And that's great. I very much appreciate it. Great stuff. Let's go to some more questions. Oh no, Grant doesn't bike everywhere. Time to cancel him. Yes, indeed, sassy game dev. I'm afraid so. Yeah, no, there's some truth in that actually. I do bike. Like I walk places and bike places. It wasn't meant to be a criticism. I know it's sarcasm, but I do think about it when I drive places. That can I bike places, but then you try and do these things, and I recycle lots, and then you hear about the. I saw someone's TikTok the other day. Is here we are trying to solve climate change. I'm going into a little bit of politics here, but it is kind of funny. And they said, here we are trying to solve climate change and do our part and recycle. And here's all the private jets leaving the Super Bowl. And you think, oh, yeah. Because a private jet going any sort of distance is it's a massive, jet flight is awful in itself. So there's me saying travel around. And yeah, I'll probably, I'll go by land if I can, but generally I'm going to go on plane, aren't I? And it's a problem. But these people with private jets, that's awful. It's just the worst thing. So yeah, you're doing your recycling, and then anyway, wasn't meant to do that. I shouldn't be going off on one like that. No politics. Stop politics. Oh dear, AI. Okay, Ben, a few questions about the workshop. Fire away. If you haven't heard, I'm doing a workshop. Boot camp, you could call it. 10. I'm being sarcastic because I'm trying not to advertise too much, but it's kind of how I make my money, and through a few donations like this as well. But it's a 10-week workshop, classroom style, assignments, feedback. This is the last 24 hours that you can get to join it. How many people are in the classes? It's like it usually goes up to about 50. We can manage more than that, but we tend to sort of cap it when it gets to around. The first one we had about 100, and it seemed a little. Well, actually, no, we did manage with it, and it was fine. But I think it's settling in about. We tend to get around 50 each time. So, well, but to be fair, actually, I think we got 100, but the live calls varied who could turn up, and it ended up being right at the end of the. Anyway, but yeah, so there's about 50 usually. It can be a benefit at any level, definitely. Like Boxhead, for example, was a great artist, and they joined the program, and it was really good for them to learn all those sort of technical aspects of 3D. And I think we've all got a lot to learn. I've still got a lot to learn. I don't touch geometry nodes. I could easily go on a program for geometry nodes. And you also, if I were to go to a Blender starter class, I would probably learn something, but I would just cater it to myself. It's the point of our workshop or program is that anybody can join at any level, because you do the assignment to your level. You do the assignment and you make it. So if you're a beginner, it's what we call in teaching differentiator differentiation by outcome. So a beginner will come up with something that's not as good as an advanced user, and that's the thinking behind the program. It caters to you. There's resources that are aimed at kind of beginners and that you can dip into, but they're like the course book, and they're the courses that I already have, and you get those courses with the program. That's not the important bit. The important bit is the assignments and the feedback and working with others, chatting in the community. That's the important bit. And so if you're an advanced user, you'll be doing advanced things, and you'll be helping some of the beginners with their work, and teaching others teaches you so much. So anyway, those are the things. Yeah, good evening to you as well, Danny Danitland, I think it is. Anyway, question: just answered. Why does my chat keep jumping back up? How often do you scare the neighbours when you record stuff out in the garden with your sword for video references? You saw that. Luckily, my garden's not too overlooked. But I used to love doing martial arts. I used to, and I've got replica swords, and I've got a really old sword that's dates back to. Do you know? It's been a while since I picked it up. To not Crusades quite, but it's that sort of going way back, and it's anyway. Yeah, so I'm quite into sword fighting, martial arts, and stuff. A long time ago, I got injured all the time, so I had to kind of stop doing that. But I've still got it. Still got it. How much time do you dedicate to Blender in a day? I'm learning. I do 1 to 3 hours a day. That's exceptional. You'll do really well. I at the moment I'm not doing loads of Blender. Like I should be doing some Blender now, but I wanted to go live. And I was going to do some, but I'm chatting away instead. So I sort of make courses. Is that doing Blender? I'm not learning new stuff. Learning new stuff, I used to try and do a tutorial a day, and just to see if there's anything new, what are people up to, and I've stopped doing that for a while. I'm doing more 2D stuff because I feel like I need to get better at the fundamentals, like Boxhead, who's on here, still on here. He's a great artist, and he got me thinking, he's so good at the fundamentals of art that his 3D art was awesome. And I interviewed Boxhead, Christoph, if you don't mind me saying your real name, on here. It's always anyway, he doesn't, because I interviewed him, and he's so you can go and watch that video because it's got Boxhead, and it's got I interviewed him. getting confused. I interviewed him on here, on YouTube, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. He has great art fundamentals, and he became a great 3D artist, and I thought I need to go back and do a bit more of the art fundamentals. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. But actually, I only do about 10 minutes a day of that. I just want to always dip in. My motto is little and often, when it comes to practice anyway. So jumping in and doing 10 minutes, sometimes it ends up being half an hour. Usually it ends up being about 20 minutes really. But I always say do a minimum of 10 minutes, just jump on, do a quick sketch. It's usually faces. I'm trying to do faces quickly and accurately to get the proportions as fast as possible. And I'll do a couple of those, and from a different angle. That one, this is the hard face to do, whereas they're looking up and you've got this sort of, it's just hard to do. So I keep practicing those things. Anyway, but you'll do well. 1 to 3 hours a day is fantastic. There is one piece of advice I would give, and I would say have a bare minimum. My bare minimum is 10 minutes a day. And the reason I say that is that you'll have hard days where you won't be able to do your 1 to 3 hours a day. So have the minimum being a minimum is a thing you can always manage. That's how I do the gym as well. If I'm just tired, it's like, I'm going to do the bare minimum today, which is I have a bare minimum set of exercises, which is only usually takes about 25 minutes in the gym. But usually I go to do my bare minimum because I'm tired, and then it ends up being the 40-minute that I normally spend in the gym, sort of thing. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. That's my advice, little and often, and have a bare minimum. Question: is lifetime membership bundle coming back by chance on game dev? It will do. When? I don't know. That's the thing about the lifetime membership. It's a pretty cool uh, sale, isn't it? I wonder how long they can keep going with it, because it's you get a lot with the lifetime membership, and I don't know whether it's a sustainable model for Game Dev TV. So yeah, watch out for a lifetime membership. That's where you get all the courses on Game Dev TV, and any course and any future course, not the programs though. So in a sense, it is useful, because if they sell the membership, you get discounts on the programs. So I guess they still, yeah. Anyway, talking about the economics of Game Dev TV, but yeah, so it probably will run another round this year, I would have thought, but when, I don't know. Question: Have you have I have a collection instance, but I don't know how to edit it individually. Please help. Do you know, that's something I rarely work with, is collection instances, because isn't it easier to have it as an asset? Is there a reason to have collection instances instead of, because I feel like that's the old way of doing things. Someone else might argue against me on this one. That's fair enough, because I like to listen and what your thoughts are. But I think the having it as an asset, what do you call it? The asset library, and having things in your asset library is better now than collection instances, isn't it? Actually, maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. It's something I rarely do, because I'm teaching all the time. I always tend to do things from the start, so I can show the process and teach it. So I don't have many asset library things or collection instances. Maybe I need to look into that and do a tutorial on it. That's a good one. Geartusbox said, saying hello. Question: What kind of? That's you must have got cut off there. It jumped again. It keeps jumping. Keeps jumping. Oh no. I've lost the question. I'm sorry if I miss certain people's questions, but the chat keeps jumping. A lot of creators talk about texturing and say to download a texture and apply it. My question is, how do those get created? Is everything procedural at the end of the day? No, you can take a picture. You can take a picture of things and use it as a texture. There's a cool program I saw the other day, and it was an AI based, and they reached out to me for advertising collaboration, and they were asking if I could promote their stuff, and they might have even paid me some money to do it. And I thought about it, because actually it's a really useful one. I get contacted by an AI company at least 3 times a day saying, promote us please, we'll do all this stuff, and I ignore it. But that one, I say I ignore it. I always look and check whether it is actually something useful, because if there was AI for retopology, I'd be saying yep. Or if there was AI for other, UV unwrapping, yeah, I'll help you. I'll talk to you and learn more and find out about it and maybe promote it if it's any good. But most AI stuff is rubbish. But I saw one the other day, which is taking a picture and then turning it into a PBR material. So you take a picture, gives you the normal map, displacement map, and everything like that. And I thought, yeah, that's quite cool. That's something. Instamat, it could be Instamat. It might have been them actually. So there you go. Yeah. So yeah, it's not just procedural. Pictures can be taken and used as well. So in fact, it's maybe even more common to use a picture and turn that picture into a seamless texture that can be used and tiled. Yep. Nice to see so many people on here. We've got 103 people on now. It was a slow start, and people, I assume people will be sort of dipping off as I was chatting away, and usually I look at how many viewers there are and sort of think, people are dipping off now. It's probably time to shut up, Grant. So it's nice to see so many on here. I don't know whether I've mentioned, but it's the last day for joining the 3D art program. So sign up now if you want a 10-week art program. I've link in the description. I think I'm a bit tired of advertising that, but it's become more of a joke anyway. Hopefully that answers your question, Nocturnal Penguin. I recognise that name, so it might be I might have seen you on here before. Thank you very much to AJC53. I want to make sure I don't miss the teacher style course that starts March the 8th. Well, it's funny you say that. I saw you mention it in your last video. Where is the best place to sign up? And are the seats limited? The seats are limited, but I don't think we're close to the maximum, so you're safe. But it is the last day to sign up. The link is in the description. I'm going to post the link in here. And thanks for your donation as well. Appreciate that. I'll post the link in here. This is actually an affiliate link, you see. So I actually get a little bit of bonus, and not bonus because you're not paying any more or anything like that. But I get slightly more if you use my link. So please use my link. Thank you very much. So when I advertise things on here, it's so they are affiliate links. So I sell my courses on Game Dev TV. I'm kind of involved in Game Dev TV as well, but I get a bit of extra if I bring a customer in, as it were. So I would appreciate that. So thank you very much, AJC53, for giving me another chance to advertise the program. A program, workshop, lots of different ways of putting it. And yes, it's, if you didn't know about the program, it's a 10-week course, classroom-like style, all levels, mainly sort of beginner focused, I would say, but you can get a lot out of it as a beginner, intermediate, maybe even advanced. It does touch on the advanced things, but it's more about the assignments and the feedback and that process of going through the assignments, that classroom feel. Anyway, question. If both were free, which one would you choose for sculpting, Blender or ZBrush, or ZBrush as I like to call it? Probably ZBrush, because there are so many more tools and it's built for artists in mind. Blender's great, but it's built by programmers for artists. But it's built by programmers with artists in mind, whereas ZBrush is built for artists. Blender, the devs, I get the feeling that they're kind of, it's a playground for them. So they do some cool stuff, but ZBrush or ZBrush has loads more tools, sort of custom brushes and things like that. It's my understanding anyway. I've used it once, I think, and maybe a bit more, but that was many years ago now. But I see people using it. That's why I get the idea that, and I think it can handle a few more polygons, but it is harder to learn than Blender, I'm told. I would certainly probably be sticking to Blender, even if ZBrush was free, just because I know Blender better. I think that answers that question as well. Do you know, is there a way in Blender to do something like the ZBrush T-Pose Master? Don't know what that is, I'm afraid. Yeah, sorry, I don't know what that is. This is interesting. I'm breaking my 2-week internet detox for your live. Cool. In a way, this is it's not about mainly to avoid doom scrolling, but I consider educational allowed. Exactly that. Thanks for existing. Thank you for existing and commenting. You're one of my favorite YouTube educators. I love to hear that. Thank you, MRH4993. Yeah, internet detoxes, that's, if you need to do that, that's an important thing to do. And maybe in some ways that's what I was doing this evening, because I probably would have watched a bit of anime, scrolled on my phone, chilled out, been nicely in my comfort zone, and I wanted some adventure tonight. And that's why I'm on here, because I need to have more adventure, and this is an adventure. I find out about people. I might even get to visit some of you one day with my travelling, like Boxhead. I'm coming to Denmark, come and say hello. There's so many more opportunities when you go out and purposely think, right, I'm going to meet some people and say hello, and you're my tribe. Everybody listening, you are my tribe. We're here together. We're in this together. Uruguay kicks ass. Yeah. Oh, you Sassy Game Dev, you from Uruguay? Oh, maybe I'll come and see you. Anyway, where was I? Where was I? Breaking the fast. That's it. Yeah. A question from Vivian Spiral. An overall idea on how to go about texturing a mega structure. That's an interesting one, actually. I would. This is a good one for Boxhead. He always did this really well, because you can give the illusion of detail with things. It depends how close you are to it. If you're going to get close to a certain point, and you're going to get, if you're going to see this object, this mega structure from close in and far away, you have to have lots of detail. But then I would choose kit bashing to repeat the details. So you're going to use a lot of repetition and tiling with your textures and things like that. But if you're going to see it from a distance, but you see one part that's detailed, work on just that one part and then lightly detail the other parts. So there's lots of different ways of doing that. But what's it called? What do I call it? Kit bashing is one way, with lots of, you repeat objects and you repeat textures and adding detail to the bits you're going to see close up. That's how I would do that. Did the Geometry Nodes course? It's frustrating and infuriating at times. It is, not because of the course, because of Blender. Yeah. This is probably why I didn't really get into Geometry Nodes, because it's pushing the program to the limit. Geometry Nodes. It's hard to learn. It crashes. It takes up a lot of your resources, your computer resources, when you start sort of adding loads of instances and stuff like that. Yeah, I get where you're coming from, Ray. Ray Mabula. Uruguay is awesome. Brazil was more fun. Brazil, I was thinking about Brazil as well. Anyway, the same with the donut. Question from Martin Pavlik. Hello, Grant. Do you plan on any advanced courses focused on 3D environment art in Unreal Engine on Game Dev TV? I feel like there is some, but not particularly advanced, I don't think. I don't know Unreal, you see, so it's not something I can do. And I think it's quite... Is it niche? It's something I'd love to do, because Unreal is awesome, isn't it? And it looks real, and you get these amazing environments. It looks really good fun. Maybe it's something I need to look into more, but no is the answer to that at the moment, unfortunately. Advanced courses are very difficult to... one, you need to find someone who is advanced at that, and for me, for example, I couldn't do an advanced Geometry Nodes course. I can't even really do an advanced animation course because I haven't quite got the skills. I might do, perhaps, but it would be very hard work for me to do that. But then the audience is smaller as well. So you have to charge loads for it, and it's sort of, it's a headache, really. Advanced courses are headaches. And that's why you often don't see companies investing in those advanced courses. And often it's awful as well, because those who are really good at the advanced stuff are dreadful teachers, and they make loads of assumptions about your knowledge, and they're really hard courses to follow. So yeah, it's hard, and I appreciate why you're annoyed as well, at wanting to find the stuff and it's not out there. The answer is to find a mentor who is in that space and get private lessons, and then you can ask them questions. They don't have to be such a good teacher. Then you can say, what do you mean, and help them to teach with the advanced stuff. That's the answer. Hey there, hey Grant, from Snake Extra. Hi Grant, why are you so good guy? Such a good guy. Thank you. Because it's more fun in life to be a good guy. To have a grudge, to be an angry person, is only hurting the individual that is angry and has the grudge. It's much more fun in life to be the good guy. Honestly, you just and that's the... I say I'm going out there having adventures. My adventures are about community. It's about sharing the love. It sounds a bit I don't know, weird saying that, but it's true. It's there's so much more fun when this is an interesting anecdote, and I'm gonna take bear with me on this one. I don't know where I heard this, but probably TikTok. But I like to say, I read some research somewhere, but it's actually I saw it on TikTok. But it's my TikTok is full of psychology, politics, economics, and the things. But psychology is one of the things I'm very interested in. And they did an interesting test about. They gave people some money and said, go and find happiness. What was it? Yeah, was it go and find happiness? And they financed them to go and find happiness. And these one group went out and did experiences like going on holiday. The other group, and I think they might have been from Japan or something like that. I don't know, I might be mixing up research here, but the general thought is that this one group, they found happiness by taking time off work. I think this was it anyway. Taking time off work and then going and helping and volunteering. And their happiness was rated at the start of the experiment. Those that went out and did holidays reported an increase in happiness. The ones who went out to volunteer, they reported back a much higher increase in happiness, and that says something about the human condition. And there's lots to be said for being the good guy. I'm glad you said that, and I appreciate you calling me the good guy. But there's a reason that I want to be the good guy as well. You know, it's makes life more fun. So Snake Extra, you're a good guy for saying that. Gentonioni, a few weeks ago I made the tutorial for the well. Changed the colours a bit to those of my country's flag, Venezuela. Venezuela, that's an interesting situation at the moment, but Venezuela. I can send you it so you can give me, and it went ... Is there a limit on the amount of words you can say? You can send it to me. Tag me on Instagram. That's the easiest way. I always see people tagging me on Instagram or Discord. Say hello, show me your work on there. Tag me. Always tag me if you're on Discord. Don't just assume that I read all the general comments. I look for tags, and so I can find people. I love to see your work. I love to. If you have done one of my tutorials and you think, oh, that's great, tag me in the results, because I love to see people using my tutorials, benefiting from them. It gives me a real boost. CG Boost has a new free course on a frog bot. CG Boost is great stuff. That they've got some really awesome quality courses, and they've got some good free stuff out there as well. But is the character for the ultimate 3D program? Actually, that's an interesting question. Real Big Tyrone. That's an interesting name. They've got a question, probably a dumb question. But is that character for the ultimate 3D program? Oh, look, this character. No, this is the mascot for Game Dev TV, and I was going to do some work on it. And I wanted to ask people what costumes to do for him, because I've done a few. I'll show you. I'll show you why I've got this character for, because I was thinking of if no one joined and no one was about, I was just going to get on with some work and chat to the few people that were there. But there's lots of questions. So this is the Game Dev TV mascot, and that's what he looks like. And then he's got a sword and shield. So I was going to ask people what they thought of different costumes that this person could have. And it's Game Dev TV, so they do courses. So we're thinking of a kid that is imaginative, a bit like me. I like to imagine things, like being a knight. With a cardboard sword and shield. My voice is going now. My brain is going too fast for my voice to catch up. That is an issue with dyslexic people, I think. Our thoughts are going quicker than... anyway. So you get distracted quickly. Neurodivergent, as they say. So any ideas for costumes? That was a Valentine's one, that was. So any ideas for costumes? I'll leave this one up. That's why. So this isn't in the Ultimate Artist program, but we learn to make characters like this. That's the advanced bit right at the end of the course, so it gets to that stage. But if you are already starting as an intermediate, then you'll find that a bit more comfortable by the time you get to the week 8, I think it is, when we start looking at characters, and then you'll be expected to go that bit further with rigging and maybe even animating. We don't generally actually know. We talk about posing your character, so you might rig and pose your character, but you'll have a slightly more complex character than someone who started as a beginner from the course beginnings, if that makes sense. So hopefully that answers your question, Real Big Tyrone. Thanks, Puakausek. Question from Fadol Attraction. How should someone coming from a traditional engineering CAD background approach learning Blender? It depends what you're trying to achieve. If you are using Blender in that sort of CAD engineering approach, then continue doing that within Blender and just work out the tools and the similarities. But if you want to move across into the art side, then just embrace that and perhaps combine to start off with some of your engineering style approach with the more artistic approach, and slowly transition. I always say work on your weaknesses. So if you're trying to do something like I like to play football, and my left foot is not as good as my right foot, so I do more practice on my left foot. So if you're wanting to be an artist from an engineering background, then you will need to start off looking at the art side and art fundamentals more. Hopefully that sort of answers the question. I answered it in my own way. Oh, good stuff. Good to hear. Stephen Woods did a great job with the GeoNodes course. Yeah, he works really hard on those things. He's got a sort of teaching background as well. Yeah, the CAD stuff within Blender is a lot to be desired, really. Just looking at some of the questions. Yeah, 3D cursor, object center. Yeah, sorry, we're still looking at CAD stuff. I need to just look at the questions, don't I? Retopology kicks everyone's butt. Yeah, so have a look at the Krabatsky box heads. I might be a bit behind in the chat, so I'm catching up slowly. But yeah, look at the interview of Boxhead, because if you want an idea of bits of the program, but it's just really interesting chatting to Boxhead and learning about that art background and what he's up to at the moment. He's working on a game, and it's cool to think that I know that the art program was helpful for Boxhead, but it wasn't the only thing. You have to have that personality to take on new challenges and things, and it was interesting talking to Boxhead and learning about that background. It's a really good interview. Sounds like I'm showing off. Oh, I did a really good interview. It was because the person I was interviewing, and Boxhead is a really fascinating guy, so it's well worth a watch, that one. Rashid. Oh no, it just jumped again. Stop doing that. I lost the question. Why does it keep doing that? So I might have lost the question there. But I've got another one here. So if I've missed your question and you see me answering a later one, then you might have to re-ask your question, because my chat just suddenly jumps every now and again. So, hi Abbott. Funny that people call me Abbott, but it's Grant Abbott. So my name is Grant generally, but I know that other cultures sort of have the main name the other way around and things, so that's probably why you call me Abbott, and I don't mind being called Abbott either. It sounds kind of funny because it's a bit of something, a bit of Grant. Anyways, I went off on one there. What is now a good place to store your portfolio of Blender 3D artwork? ArtStation. I'd always use ArtStation, because employers in the art world will certainly use ArtStation. It's quite a nice, easy interface. I used to use Sketchfab. Does it still exist, Sketchfab? Because I haven't been on there for a long time. I think there are places if you want to show people the 3D model itself. Yeah, I can use the scroll wheel, but sometimes it sort of just jumps. The chat jumps and I lose where I was, so I scroll up and down and I don't know where I am. Thank you for trying to help out though. So ArtStation is the way where I would post my work. Sketchfab if you want people to be able to move around your models and see things like that, but ArtStation still seems to be the way that most people are using. And as an employer, if I wanted to see portfolios, which I sometimes do, I prefer it when I see an ArtStation link, because I know where I'm going on ArtStation, because everybody's using ArtStation. Are there tricks to decimate to reduce poly without opening up holes or flipping normals? Oh, it shouldn't do that. Your topology might end up looking bad, but it shouldn't create holes or flip normals. That suggests that you've got some doubles in there somewhere in the first place. So you might want to have a look at your mesh. There is an add-on called Print Tools, I think it's called, and that will check your mesh for things like inside faces. That can cause problems when you decimate, or if there's any doubles, or there's already flip normals. So have a look at that one, and that might help. Oh, sniffing a bit. I've got a slight hay fever at the moment, and it's flaring up just a tiny bit at the moment. So sorry if I sniff. It's not because I'm infectious, so you won't get infected. It's just hay fever. Where was I? Seeing how passionate Grant is talking about 3D art is absolutely fascinating. I think I'm passionate about life, particularly at the moment, because I'm on a little run to have adventures. And yeah, I'm passionate about 3D art. I'm passionate about creativity. I'm passionate about people, and I'm passionate about life. Generally speaking, I mean, I have downs. Like, I have down times. This morning, I just thought, oh dear, I'm tired. Why am I so tired? And it's harder to have adventures when you're tired. And in fact, coming online like this evening, I said I was going to relax or go live, and I thought I need to get going and jump up and do things. So it was, yeah. So being passionate and you'll have times where you're a bit down, and I'll have times where I'm a bit down, and but the answer to that is action. Action takes away that your anxiety. Well, can take away your anxieties and take away your down mood. It can lift your mood. That action, taking action. So having adventures, and I've felt so the last couple of weeks I've been thinking like that, and it's been quite invigorating. And then you take little risks when going on adventures, and I'm going to say another anecdote now. Give me another story as the viewers drop. We're still on 98 viewers. I'm amazed. But I read a book ages ago, Choose Your Own Adventure book. Anybody into those? I'll see this. I've got the up-to-date a polar bear onesie for the character. Yes. Choose Your Own Adventure books. And the start of this book, I did a short on this recently, and I haven't yet posted it, but I'll say it now because it's funny. The start of this book was, you see a shiny object in a bush that you're wandering down a path, you see a shiny object in a bush. Do you investigate? Turn to page such and such. Do you walk past and not investigate? And turn to the other page. Of course you investigate. This is an adventure book, and there's a shiny object in the bush. I'm going to investigate that. But I couldn't help myself but to say, well, what on earth, those people that just walk past, I've got to go and see what's on that page. And it was, you live life and you just carry about your day, and your life is a bit boring, right, basically. And it made me think about life, because often we might see a shiny object in the bush and we think, nah, don't worry about it. And then we go along and we just have an ordinary life. But the shiny object in the bush is where the adventure is. And I think it really reflects life perfectly. And that's why I love that anecdote. And I want it to be my life where I am investigating that shiny object. And you have loads more fun. It's more effort. It can be a bit more tiring, actually, life, but there's so much more fun to be had. So hopefully it is inspiring, it's fascinating, and it's not just 3D art, it's creativity in general that I'm passionate about, and people. Thank you, Old Hig. You've probably gone by now, but good to see you, and thanks for the donation. I really appreciate that. Plasticity, the software. I feel like I recognise it, but I don't think I've used it. To answer your question, well, what now? Any tips on pointer? I should be making sure to follow while... any tips or pointers I should be making sure to follow while making add-ons. I'm sorry, I've struggled to read that. Cypher. I've never made an add-on, but what I would say, if you are planning to sell an add-on, you are solving a problem. But who are you solving that problem for? Make sure you know who you're solving that problem for. Ask them what they need. Ask them what will help them with that, and then you know you're going to be able to sell it. That would be my pointers for you. Been working on the frog bit. Oh, is that the other CG Boost one? Frog bot, I think you mean. Yeah. Jackboy1844. Hello, I'm complete beginner in Blender. I love your tutorials. I love your tutorial where you are making scene, and I want to make more scenes on my own. Is it a good idea to learn Blender? I'm confused by the question, but yes, making scenes in Blender, it's a good thing, and you'll get loads of rewards from it. Like I'm talking now, I love creativity. If you love creativity, learn Blender, you'll have a great time. So would you agree? I'm just having a quick look at the up-to-date Um, I like that polar bear onesie. That'd be good. I was thinking a dragon onesie would be good on this character. Any other ideas for the character? Uh, what's your favourite cocktail? I don't drink, so I don't have a favourite cocktail. It's a mocktail would be my favourite cocktail, and I don't have sugar as well. I don't drink, and I don't consume sugar as I consume as little added sugar as possible. So that's my weird, wonderful diet. I won't go into too much more, but that's why I don't have a favourite cocktail. Oh, I missed one. Eric Mendoza. I'm 28, focused on programming. Do you think it's doable to learn 3D character modeling, stylized anime characters, without quitting coding, or would that be spreading myself too thin? It's a good question. It's what you can handle. I'd give it a go. And then you get an idea. So just dip your toe in. That's my motto at the moment as well for having adventures, is dip your toe in. Recently I set myself an adventure of talking to someone out of the blue on a dog walk sort of thing. Not I was on a walk, they were on a dog walk, and my way of dipping my toe in was first by saying hello to people as I was passing them, morning, hello, that sort of thing. The other way of dipping my toe in was to go that step further, dipping the foot in at that point. And someone had a dog, and I thought that's a good, nice, easy way I can say, can I pet your dog? And that was a way of saying hello and meeting someone. So dip your toe in, make your first character, make it a really low poly character, and see if you enjoy it. So yeah, start with low poly characters. Start with the Monster and Man scene. That's my beginner course. And then see how you find that. You could even do my low poly character course, and quick sale in there. But start simple, build up slowly, see if you like it. You'll start to get an idea of how far you can take it, how long it's going to take. But yes, I would certainly encourage you to have a go, and then you can see whether you are spreading yourself too thin. It's too much. You can't take it on all at once. But I think it's good to learn lots of different things. Invest in yourself, and it's always going to work. That's a silly throwaway phrase there. Let's jumped again where I've lost it. I have a question. This is from Feebly Brush. How can I use Blender to come up with 90s anime cyberpunk dystopia comic vibe scenes? There's probably a use case for perhaps using models that, so off-the-shelf models, and then using grease pencil over the top of them. That would probably work quite nicely. Grease pencil is probably something you might want to look into. I have just the course for you. Have I got I don't have a link to my grease pencil course. Ah. Do I have any? Oh, never mind. If you follow the links in the description, go on to Game Dev TV, and there'll be just go into the Blender stuff, and there's a grease pencil course in there if you want to learn grease pencil. But I'd use off-the-shelf characters that you can then pose, and then grease pencil over the top of them could look quite cool, or just use those poses and then paint over the top in Photoshop or something like that. But I think that's an option for you. Skateboard costume. So skateboard, cool kid, lab coat, scientist, crazy scientist. I'm going to write that one down because I want it to be slightly game related, but crazy scientist, evil genius. we want him to be slightly lovable though, I suppose. So evil genius might not work, but crazy scientist is a good one. What's the other one? Football with feet player. Yeah, we could do that. Devil, angel, bunny for Easter. Yeah, Easter bunny. I need to do an Easter bunny one, don't I? That's a good point. Oh my goodness! I just realised when I lean down, you can see my hair thinning, so I mustn't lean down too much. I just looked at myself in the corner. It was me leaning down. That's. No. That's weird. I think we've had that one. I think probably someone asked it twice. Are there any lucrative outlets for retopology alone? That's interesting. I don't know. There could be, but it would be being part of an indie team probably, working with an artist to retopologize their work. I'd be a little bit careful of just pigeonholing yourself like that. I know you don't mind it, but I'd just get good at it with your own models. So do some cool modeling, but with great topology. And then people will like your work and buy your products because they've got good topology, is an option. Top chat or live chat? I've no idea what that is. I'm sorry. Am I? I don't know. This is one of the things that I do. So I just jump in and do stuff. Like I'm jumping in doing a live, and I have really very little idea how to use this software. So this top chat or live chat stuff, I don't really know what it is, but I'm up for learning. Do you know what I mean? So like the other day I went live trying to use OBS Studio, and it all went wrong. And that's embrace failure. That's the other thing I was saying earlier. Embrace failure. I embrace failure. It does crash and burn a bit when you've got, so let's say, 50 viewers or whatever I had at the time, and they couldn't hear me, which feels embarrassing, but you get over it, and it's not a big issue. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm using that stuff or not. Okay, what is it? What is your take in regards to learning anatomy for sculpting? And which books do you recommend? I've got it just here. That's my favourite book. I've got markers. Anatomy for Sculptors. It's good. And yes, if you're sculpting and you're sculpting beasts, characters, anything like that, then you will want to learn anatomy to some degree. You don't have to learn all the names. I don't know all the names, and I'm okay at it. But a knowledge of anatomy will certainly help. Yeah. Hopefully that helps. So anatomy for sculptors. I should have an affiliate link to that, shouldn't I? Is it possible to learn and become good 3D artists without any 2D skills? It is possible, definitely. Everything is possible, really. But you have to work that a bit harder. It was Fadol who came up with the polar bear onesie. Yeah, a polar bear onesie. I'm going to write that down. Yep. But what was I saying? Yeah. Talking about Boxhead, great 2D skills, awesome 3D artist. And he did it very quickly, the 3D artist, whereas other people struggled to get through it as fast. Yeah, so 2D skills help massively, but you can do it without. Yeah, lots of people do it without. Hey, you're taking my character creator course. Nice. We're just about to start sculpting. It's fun, isn't it? It gets even more fun, but it does get complicated towards the end. But that's characters for you. But the sculpting part is the fun part, I would say anyway. Easy to follow Blender guide. Good to hear. Questions. There was a band. Oh no, it's a comment actually. There was a band called Graham Rabbit. I think of you when spelling your name like that. They were obviously a great band. Great band. Sound a bit like Trump there. Have you? It jumps. Why does it keep jumping on that? Have you experimented with Sky Textures 5+? No, I haven't. So I don't know much about it, I'm afraid. I tend to use that the default Sky texture just to quickly add a sort of background colour. That's quite useful. Sugar hinders Blender skills. Do you know, it does. Sugar, the reason I don't eat sugar is because it messes with their energy levels. Refines, like diabetics. It's that insulin, and it's the what's it called? It's the insulin spike. You get the sugar rush. That's really bad for you, as I've found it. When I gave up sugar, I can sleep very easily now, unless I'm a little bit stressed and my mind's going a bit too much. But sleep is really easy for me now compared to when I was eating sugar. So that, I think that goes to show that there's issues with sugar. You get sugar rushes and energy spikes, and it's highs and lows that are really tricky to deal with. And I like to be if you balance it out, you can just sort of be above normal and operate at a nice level. It's much better for your thinking. That and exercise is really great. So although you're taking the mick with sugar hinders Blender skills, got it, inside trick revealed, but there's some actual truth to it as well. Not that it was tough giving up sugar. It was, but I don't have any desserts now. I used to be very strict with it, but it gets really difficult because sugar is added to almost everything, even a small amount, so it's quite tough. So in order to be able to eat out, I need to accept that there is going to be a tiny bit of sugar in some of my food, but that doesn't affect your sugar spikes. I was a bit over the top, but sometimes you have to go over the top. You know, there's sort of cold turkey style, all or nothing. Sometimes you have to take that approach, and I had to do that. Anyway, I'm. It's well, you're still there. People are still there, and it's 9:50 and 9:15 for me. We've been going. Is that? What time did I start? I can't even remember. What time did I start? Did I start at 7? So I've been going 2 hours. I think I have, you know. Oh, look at that. So last few questions, I reckon. First off, this is great. Goes for all your content. Thank you, Frederico. Are there any useful tools for dealing with objects of very different scales? An ant and a living room. Like LODs, as in a G.E. I'm not sure what a G.E is. I know what you mean by LODs, but not G.E. That's a really good question, actually. Do you know, Avocado Fire Gaming is making a game with a cockroach in a bathroom, I think, if I remember rightly. But whether you've gone further out than that, I'm not sure. Maybe ask Avocado Fire Gaming how they deal with the scale, because they've got cockroach and there's a huge big scene. In general, in Blender, because it's probably more a gaming question, really. So, Avocado Fire Gaming, if you don't mind answering that one. Yeah, do you know my free course? Do you know I've let my website down a lot. I've just sort of lost track of what my website is doing. My YouTube channel has my kind of free course on there, but if you follow the links to Game Dev TV, there's a free course on there as well. It's a little bit more related to game dev side of Blender. So there's the free course that I do on YouTube, which is The Monster and the Man. But if you want my other free course, which is like a sheep in a field, then go on to Game Dev TV, follow the link in the description. There's links to Game Dev TV in the description. In fact, I'll share one last time. If you follow this link, it'll take you to the 3D Artist program, but it'll take you to Game Dev TV, and you'll be able to see my free course on there. Just go to the, excuse me, from there. Go to the Blender section, and the free course will be in there. And yeah, you can follow that along. Anyone actually using Metaballs regularly? I haven't used Metaballs for ages. How many times you made that desktop man? Not sure what that means. Do you mean this guy? I only made him once and then give him different outfits. If that's what you mean. How many hours would you advise practicing Blender? The chat jumped and I've lost you again, but it's whatever you can manage. Have a bare minimum each day, so little and often. Bare minimum. So it can be as it can be as little as 10 minutes a day. But ideally, you'll get into it and you'll do an hour one day, maybe only 10 minutes. But have the bare minimum that I'm going to spend 10 minutes, and there'll be days where you think that will have to do. I'm tired, can't cope with this today. Or I've got so much work on, impossible. But always do the bare minimum. That's my advice. I might have missed some questions here. I definitely have. This is nice. Jack Cleveland. In these dark and stupid times, I tend to agree, it is reassuring and comforting to hear your voice while I work on my projects. Thank you for your service. Peace. I like that message. And, you know, there's always dark and stupid times. It seems more so at the moment, but that's our media pushes that message because it gets more clicks, they get more views. And so we are in a world of social media where they're fighting for your attention. So the bad stories will sell more. And for lots of people, I mean, war is horrendous. It's not a good place to be in. But we always go through bad and tough times. And you'll go through in life. there'll be different times where you personally will be going through a harder time than someone else. So it's easy for me to be up here, sort of all excited, because I'm 48 and I'm comfortable. I don't have to worry too much about my work, although I do a bit. But my mortgage is paid off and I've got no kids and that sort of thing. So it's easy for me to be up here being all positive. But not to say I haven't had hard times as well. And that's why I'm on here trying to, push myself a little bit further and find adventure and reach out. But there's always trying times. I know we sort of make this joke, but I think it's a good message to have, that there are dark, stupid times often, and you'll go through your dark, stupid times at different times to other people. But always trying to be that positive, trying to be the positive, reassuring and comforting voice that you just mentioned there, Jack Cleveland, in the world. Be the change that you want the world to be. I think that's a really bad way of saying it. There's a better phrase, isn't there? Be the change that you want to see in the world. That's it. So if you want to see more peace in the world, be peace, and you'll see more of it. That's why I don't use social media, says White Raven. Exactly. But I love social media and I love TikTok. But I think I'm on the right side of TikTok, because I see... Well, actually, that's not true, because I see some horrible things happening in... I shouldn't say horrible place. Horrible things happening in places. And it does feel unjust what is happening in certain places. Try not to get too political. But I think it is important to be informed. But I do sometimes think I'm not doing that today, and skip past it and find an interesting thing about philosophy or psychology, and those are things I like. Or maybe in comedy. Sometimes I like watching a bit of comedy on TikTok as well. So. Where can I find info on a good rig for Blender? Well, there's an add-on, Avocado Fire Gaming. You'll probably remember this well, won't you? What we used Auto Rig Pro, didn't we, for the asset pack? That was a nightmare. But no, Auto Rig Pro was good. We used Rigify to start with, and that's bad if you want to export your rig to other places. Auto Rig Pro is really good, so use that. But it is a paid-for add-on. It's one of the more expensive add-ons, but it's very good. That's my answer to that one. Firefox Lily, cool name. I'm new to Blender and I'm slowly learning the fundamentals. I wish to create character models of animals, and your animal low poly vids are really great. I'd love to see more. Oh, you'd love to see more. That's interesting. I'm trying to think. There are some old ones as well. So if you watch the up-to-date one, then you can go back to the old ones, and you'll understand the process and the tools that might be missing in the new one. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, I'm just remembering Avocado Fire Gaming. How do you tackle something you feel you're not up to? As I'm not good enough to do something, but I want to do it. Baby steps. Baby steps is how you do that. My example being that I wanted to meet people. I've already said the anecdote, but I wanted to meet more people out in the open, people I didn't know, and I wanted to be able to approach people I didn't know and be able to talk to them. And it's baby steps by just saying hello to start with. And there was that someone with a dog, and I thought there's a way in of saying, can I pet your dog? That was my baby steps. So baby steps gradually. So I want to make characters. My baby steps are make low poly characters to start off, Minecraft style characters to start off with, and then increase the detail. So low poly that's a bit more detailed, but still separate objects for the head and the body. And then I'm going to go a bit more detailed and have it all as one object. And then I'm going to go a bit more detailed and sculpt on that object. So that's the flow I would use. How would you suggest practicing retopology? Again, I guess that's baby steps, isn't it? Find easy objects to start with, and then build up slowly. But just step by step, one pixel one face at a time, in a sense. So start with a hand or something like that, and retopologize a hand, and then maybe a face. Look at references of how other people retopologize a face, and then you'll start to get the idea of where you put your poles and things like that. Thank you, Salim Duadi, for saying I'm awesome. Right, I think I've got to the end of all the questions, and the viewer count's going down slightly now. So I think now is the time for me to bid you adieu. Bid you adieu. That's the word, isn't it? My brain's gone, so it definitely is time. It was wonderful to speak to you all. I did think of doing a bit more work, but it was actually, there was enough people on here to get a chat going, and hopefully you found it interesting and fun. Thanks to all those that got involved. It's lifted me and my mood, and you were part of my today's adventure coming online. And that's one thing I would leave you with is go and find adventures. That makes life fun. It pushes you forward. It takes you out of your comfort zone, and learn to spot where the adventures are. So maybe there's an event you can go to, or a certain thing that you can say yes to, where you can find your adventure and find your fun. And thanks for being part of my adventure this evening. One last advert. If you want to join the art program, you've got only a few hours left to join that. It's the 10-week program, classroom style teaching, assignments, feedback, and an awesome community with some lovely people that you've heard from tonight. So yeah, thanks all. Lovely to see some faces I haven't seen, well, I say faces, but names that I haven't seen for a while. It's good to chat to you all. So thanks again, and I guess I'll see you next time, because I'll probably be doing it a bit more. Yeah, do the course. Thank you, Fadol. I'll be doing more of these because I need more adventures like this in my life. In fact, if you've got any advice, if you've got any questions that weren't answered, then you can just put a comment in any of my videos, and I do see those. If you've got any videos or lives that you would like to see talk about, and it doesn't have to be Blender related, if you're just like hanging out and chatting, I like doing that, and I'm happy to do those sort of lives. They're easy and they're fun. Yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody, and